Oh no. Double tap. All right, cool. All right, well, welcome, welcome everybody to Friday Freestyle. This is the Vic
Hey,
Show.
everyone.
Redone graphics and everything for us. All right, so you guys just saw a revamped. If you look at the top left of the screen, or your top right, my I guess my top right too. My top left. Anyway, look at the top left. You'll see the background. Hey Roy, go ahead and follow those links. Can jump
What's up,
right in,
Roy?
buddy. The graphics are changing. We totally changed the logo. We're still Comics Cast. We're still Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. Go ahead and follow us there. Hey, Pete's on. He's putting together his camera or whatever it is. So he's on fast. All right. So yeah, welcome to Comics Cast. Welcome to Friday Freestyle. This is just for fun. Anyone can come on. Pete's not coming on because I threw him an invite and he felt polite enough not to say no. So that was nice. It's been a while, Pete.
What's up, man?
Sorry, it's been a busy day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
we hear you.
I hear you.
Okay, cool. Sorry, it's been a very busy day. I have tomorrow is the Indie Art Show, which is a show that I run out here on Long Island. We're going to be at a brewery, and
Oh, very cool.
yeah, we try to do something a little bit different. It's not. People keep people keep saying it's a con, right? No, absolutely not. It's an art show for underground artists. My kicker is like the way I'd explain it to people is like Jim Lee can come, but he can't have a table. He can have a beer.
Yeah.
This isn't for big name published, even published indie guys. Like I hate the word indie, but once I name it underground, it gets weird.
Yeah.
But it's not even indie comics. Like the guys who you see all the time on getting all the covers and stuff at the indie books on Kickstarter and stuff, I wouldn't even give them a table. This is for the underground guy that's trying, or girl, or person, or human that's trying to get in. That's trying to learn how to do shows that maybe hasn't done a show before. I got guys that do their own zines. I got one, two other that from my days, the graffiti guys. I have people that make jewelry. I have all sorts of fun stuff. And
Cool.
yeah, we put it in the juxtaposition. We used to have it in a dive bar, which was perfect because it was just perfect for the scene. But we've been able to level up, and now we're going to be at a local brewery here in Long Island. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. They're premiering 3 new beers tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's when their Saturdays are usually pretty busy, so it's gonna be a banger of a show. But when they premiere beers, they say it's line out the door.
Mm-hmm.
So they're premiering. It's the Great South Bay Brewery. They're premiering a stout that basically it's a fluffernutter. It's some peanut and some fluff adjunct. So it's that.
Sure. Okay. Why not?
No, it looks phenomenal. There's another stout that's it's more winter stuff. There's a tiramisu kind of flavored. And then there's another one that's done kind of like a bowl of tricks.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to check those out.
Good. Your point about indie comics or indie, looking at the word indie, and it was funny because we're looking at different names for things. Like the magazine that's coming out is The Community, and I was starting to look at, like, do I want to call it the indie community or just the community, or do I want to put the community and then smaller letters indie comics or something like that? But I almost want to say to stop calling it indie, because it's almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? Solving prophecy. Solving isn't the right word.
I'm going to tell you the way I feel it is that word has been taken and bastardized, and it's almost been gentrified. Okay, the word indie was this really crappy neighborhood, and and it was really run down and beat up. And then the corporate America came in, and not necessarily Marvel, DC, or anything, but successful indie creators. And I'm not knocking. No, before anybody yells at me, I'm not knocking successful indie creators. I work with successful indie creators. I love it. It's great. But successful indie creators came on, so now they're independent comics. They're indies. But they're not indies the way maybe Joe, you and I grew up with, where it was, a guy on a corner with a box outside of a con. It's not like that anymore. The indie comics of today, of the mainstream indie comics of today, are very streamlined and very clean and very professional and very, which is great. Which is great for indie now. I love it. But the stuff that I do, the black and white kind of stuff that I do, the unknown kind of stuff that I do, is now more underground. We're more in the underground now, and I think that's the I can't, I don't know where my camera is. This is indie here, underground here. It's like different. I keep moving the thing because that's my drawing camera, but
No,
so
I
it's all
understand
it's different. It's just it's not good. It's not bad. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not saying anything. But it's that word is now.
I like the cheers. I mean, I like that you're cheering it up a little bit, and making it make sense on that level, because, I mean, it is getting to a point where the indie stuff has to be there's a certain expectation of standard, especially because of the Kickstarter, because of the Indiegogo. The way we market things, there's an expectation. But if you go over to Comixology, then there's that underground element, but that's even getting really polished. So it's an interesting dynamic. Now, I'll say this, with our app that we're building, I never wanted to be a publisher that said, you better, and the indie app is not designed as a publishing element at all, but you're releasing content, you're choosing things to go on the platform, right? So it's like, okay, what are my standards? And at what point do the standards of quality start saying, oh, you're not good enough? Or,
right.
And I don't want to be that guy either. But at the same time, it's kind of like you're saying, there's still an expectation of quality because masses of people are going to buy it. And then at what point does it no longer be indie if you're expecting hundreds of thousands of people to get the books? You know what I mean?
Yep. It's I think it's just, it had to evolve in the level.
Underground, man. Underground is the
underground.
Right term.
Underground is look, I'm 40, I'm going to be 48 in April. So I was always drawn and stuff, but I was always a guy in high school, if you had a band, yo, Pete, could you make a flyer for us? Sure. Draw something with the Sharpie, cut something up, put it on, tape it really thin with transparent tape, then go to the Xerox machine and make a bunch of flyers. That's how I make my flyers now. I keep that underground thing. That's that underground zine, CBGB's punk rock kind of thing. And that, and punk rock is a perfect example of that, because, people are like, oh, Green Day sold out. I was like, no, they just got professional. They evolved. That's what indie comics did.
We're gonna fight, you and me. If you don't understand that Green Day, I don't know, I wouldn't be sold out. But
no, they evolved. No, people said people said that they sold out, but no, they just got paid and grew up. They just got professional. That's all. They just but that opens the door for other guys. So these guys, these comics.
Slow down. There's a lot of young people out there that aren't as old as us, Pete. So
yeah, that's true.
You should look them up. They're a big band that started right around 1987, maybe earlier.
There was a thing today, the Gen X Music Challenge. They said Gen X can't react to these songs, and it was a video, and it was all grunge songs. It was all Seattle songs, and I'm like, well, I lost, because that's me in high school. So I'm done. I actually had a kid at work. I work in a restaurant. Turns like, oh wow, when did you graduate high school? I was like 92. And she's like, oh, wow, you went to high school in the 1900s?
Oh,
yeah, that hurt my feelings a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt a lot. It wasn't nice.
Well, just to let everyone who's watching, you guys, if you want to jump on, we're going to be talking, there's going to be light spoilers, or there might be a full-on spoiler alert. Vic, can you pull up that graphic so people can be aware if they see this graphic to run to the hills?
I'm your guy. I have the most amazing theory of what's going on with this show.
Ooh, okay, all right. So there's multiple shows. There's Vax Machina that I love. There's the Mandalorian show with Boba Fett. There is Jack Reacher, which I don't know how many people are excited about that, but I enjoyed the Tom Cruise movies. But I'm a huge fan of the books. And it's hard for Tom Cruise to live up to a 6'4", big, intelligent guy that can just lay waste to people. He did a great job, though.
But I give credit to Tom for doing his own stunts.
Hey, Niobe, go ahead and jump in here, brother. I'd love to hear some feedback about how you and Drawn Talk did. I watched the video. If you guys enjoyed it, go watch it. I'd love to. For me personally, I didn't think you guys needed a moderator. I would have loved to have seen you guys just talk. Check it out on both their channels on YouTube, guys, if you want to see it.
Because I was part of the crew to keep Phil, Leon, and myself were in the comments, keeping the comments,
Civil.
civil. And
Yeah.
I give credit to credit where credit's due. They were, like,
Yeah.
we didn't have to be there. We actually were a part of the conversation. It was great.
Yeah.
Sam and Max moderating though. Max Stilwell from Atrocity Press and Sam Quinton from Sonoma. It was very good that they were, because not only did we get a discussion and get some really cool things done, we got to see some things that maybe a lot of people hadn't seen before, in regards to the situation. And I'm very glad that both those gentlemen took time.
I found it
to do
interesting because they both say the same things that I say all the time anyway, which is kind of funny. I don't think the Kickstarter thing is sustainable in the long run, and that's not to kick anyone who's kicking ass on Kickstarter right now, or have been, or anyone who's doing great on Indiegogo. Like, that's fantastic. I just think that the buyers, at some point, the point is to buy comics. It's not to be angel financer. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, and I love that it's working. I love that guys like the Hobby Comics are just killing it. Like, why not? Keep doing what you're doing. But there just needs to be a new format. Everyone's heard me talk out the ass about it forever, so I just need to get it done. So I'm just looking forward to seeing that next chapter in the indie community. Sort of move past this Kickstarter thing. But again, use Kickstarter as long as you can, and I hope I'm wrong, because at the end of the day, it's just making people successful.
Look, Kickstarter is going to be,
and it gets people paid. So why not?
Kickstarter is going to be there, and there will be someone else will come up with another idea and do something else. It'll be fine. I equate it to cars, Chevy, Ford, blah blah blah. Like in 1970s, nobody had any idea what Kia was going to be. No one, no one, or Tesla or anything like that. Eventually, indie crowdfunding, indie comics, getting to the people, the Kias and the Teslas and the Toyotas and the Nissans will show up eventually. They will. It'll just have. I think it just takes time. I also think, like you said though, the water has to find its own level, and it hasn't yet, and it will. I think it will on its own. But there's some people that come through with shenanigans, and those have to get kicked out. And then there's people like here with you, Joe, and Comics Cast, that are coming up with a good idea, doing this. Now somebody else can be like, okay, well, they're doing that, we can do this. And then there's gonna be clowns like me that are just gonna be like, yeah, you know what? I have money. I have a change jar, and I'm just gonna use that and publish my own book.
Exactly.
So, because that's what I'm doing.
Guys like me might find your book and go, you know what? I don't care if you don't want my help. I'm buying your damn book because I want it to go to everybody.
My decision was simple, and I've actually talked about it with Larry and Max and Sam and all of them. I do enough shows, and I'm in New York, the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, even a little bit Chicago, but whatever. And I've done it before. I did it 5 years ago. I had my own book. I had my own book, and I had it out, and I self-published, and we did fine. The only reason I stopped was I went back and took a hard look after a 6-month hiatus and realized, wow, the art is garbage. I need to go back to school. And I went back, and over the last 4 years, I re-educated myself on how to draw sequentials. And now I have some back out in the world, so I decided to redo my book. Thanks to Alan Johnson and Eighth World Comics for giving me an opportunity. Kaiju Mania coming out. That'll be actually kickstarted, I believe, in the next few months.
Good, because I want to see it.
Yeah,
I have your individual pages. I saw talking about your art. Your what was it? It was Star Wars related. Was it?
Oh yeah, that was for tomorrow. There's a few things. Hold on. For the show tomorrow, there was. Let me get on the right stream so I can see what I'm doing.
Now
there was this.
Right,
that's
work. Okay, let's go. Let's see this piece stuff. Now he did do.
That's just an 8x8 painting. That's just an 8x8 painting.
Very, very clean. I love it. That's almost reminiscent of the Christmas special. Just throwing it out there.
Nice and simple. And then we went classic.
There it is.
Yeah,
then we just went classic. Just classic. Nice and clean.
Love how clean your blue paint is on that. What type of paint are you using?
This is acrylic paint. I use a blend of acrylic. I use a blend of Liquitex and stuff. I was actually just speaking with another couple artists. He uses a more expensive brand, but then he turned me on, and I knew about this too. There's a couple other mediums that you can use to get a different viscosity and stuff. Then I mix in with some paint markers and stuff just to get like the fine. Like you see that Spidey, his eyes. I had to use a.
That's great.
I had to use a paint marker to do just some of the lines
You
and
get
stuff.
that white?
No, the white was just splatter. His
Okay.
eyes.
Oh, his eyes. Okay.
I can draw. Look, the anatomy of Spider-Man. You know this, Joe. It's very easy. You know this too, Vic.
Yeah.
Very easy. But to get those eyes the right way, and to not automatically default and make them look like McFarlane, because then you're just a hack. You gotta,
I love it, man. That's a great piece. Have you already sold that piece, or you?
No, this is on the block now, and then it'll be at the show tomorrow. I don't expect it to survive the show.
I think so.
And then
That's great.
and then I always mix in people because I hear the people, I see the guys, the indie guys. Oh, he's fan art guys, blah blah blah. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm not on 115 covers, so I need a little. Pikachu has to help me pay for my table. But my table's paid, and half my stuff is either mashups, which is original art. A mashup is an original art. Satirical pieces are original art, and then stuff like this, original art.
Yeah.
And I have a ton of that out too. The one that sold, this one too. If you for the fans that like pink.
That's nice.
The one that did sold was that's already sold. I'm just taking it so somebody can pick it up. And this one I'm gonna need the. Come on, man, work with me a little bit. You saw this one too? Let's see if I can
I
get it.
did see that one. It's upside down.
Oh, it's
but I
upside
see
down.
it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Slowly you out here.
Let me see if I can get some better light. Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely perfect, man. That's beautiful. I mean, that is really something. I really like your paint work, bud.
Thank you.
I like your work, but I love your paint work.
Well, funny you should mention that. The decision I made recently was I'm going to start doing, and I'm going to talking with Larry, and I'm going to talk to Max of Niobe Mary Machine Gun. I'm already doing stuff for Niobe, but I'm going to go. I'm going to start painting some of these indie characters a little bit more, and try to do covers or pinups painted, a la Alex Ross, Paulo Rivera, stuff like that. So actually, I'll get a nice 11 by 17 canvas, and I'll start painting your covers. And that's the plan. That's hot. I like that. What is it?
That is me as Liberty Angel.
That's phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal.
His name is Liberty Angel.
You know what's even better? I made it accurate right there. I'm
Thanks,
just messing.
John. I love that you've been scoping out my crotch. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, all right. All right.
So what's going on, Sean Draws, Sean Mendoza? How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm just prepping up for tomorrow's con. I'll be tabling with the Cuba School booth at Garden State Conference.
Garden State. You're my competition tomorrow.
Am I really?
No, you're not.
Oh,
No, you're not. Absolutely not.
You know what? Let me show you something.
You guys take pictures of each other, all right?
The first thing is I love Garden State. I wish if I didn't have my own show happening tomorrow, I'd be at Garden State either as a table at a table or a fan. But Garden State's a phenomenal comic book show.
It is
just absolutely phenomenal.
Here's some stuff I recently finished for a class. These are my Batman pencils.
Well, let's make you big. There it is. Yeah, dude. I think you're coming along, man. You're coming along.
Those buildings
fast.
are solid.
And then here's the second page. Right here.
Yep.
And then here's the third page.
If you don't know what Cuber School is, guys, I mean, it's basically a comic book school. So he's learning sequentials right now, which is pretty nice. Yeah, those are solid. I like it. I mean, your depth and your space is all there. It looks good.
I love the perspective you're creating.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And how old are you, Sean?
21.
You're 21.
I hate you. Sorry.
You've been going to school for how long now?
What's up?
How long you been going to the school?
3 years.
You have not been going to the school for 3 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that when you started? Oh my gosh. It's been 3 years since I found out you went to the school. Wow, I feel time is going by way too fast.
I was working on a project with a professor and fellow graduate of Mr. Nick Capone.
Nick Capone, hey, my man.
I was sharing out Reign of Ages because Sam
Oh,
and
yeah.
Sam from Sonoma is a dear friend. And then I remember on the launch stream, Larry Niobe Rebel Comics had the live stream, so I did that for Nick, kind of a because I love
Oh
the
yeah, I was watching that one when you did that one.
I
Yeah.
was sold on that Kickstarter, on that book, right? Not just the Kickstarter, the book before. I told them had I not been friends with Sam, I still would have been jumped in because it was. They said it was a blend of ElfQuest, heavy metal, and some Bad Girl Image comics from the '90s. I'm like, those are three of my favorite things in comics. Let's go. And then the fact that that Nick did it black and white, I'm like, yes, absolutely, I love it. I want this.
I love the fact that he did it in black and white because
Oh.
it really sells out on the tone of the book.
Absolutely phenomenal. Love it. Great book. I'm glad it funded. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I already gone through the digital about 57 times. Great book. If you guys haven't checked it out, just keep an eye out on Sonoma Publishing on Facebook and stuff, or Nick Capone or Sam Quinton, because I believe they're going to do an Indiegogo very soon for people to catch up. And then Sam, I think, is jumping right back. Yeah, and then he's going to jump right back into issue 3 of 47.
Hey, which reminds me, if you want to get someone on the show, you should get Zachary Maroy, who's a Cuba School graduate who graduated last year. He has his own book that Phil just recently did an interview with on him. I have it somewhere here, but he did a book called Voyager, and he self-published the book while he was in school still. So
Wow.
that's pretty fucking amazing.
What I need, Sean, I need you to talk to the guys at Cuber School and see if they'll do a show for Comics Cast.
I'll see what I can do. You should also I'll try to get because Nick and the dude who runs Sonoma Publishing, who
Sam.
yeah, Sam, who created the book and then had it kickstarted. I can talk to Nick
Yeah,
about
link
what.
us up. Link us up. Yeah, put us on Messenger together or something, and then we'll.
Yeah,
we'll-
yeah, of course, man.
I'll guarantee you I'll talk to Sam in the next 15 minutes probably. So I can't. we go we're in a little bit of a hive mind when talking about stuff and projects and getting things done and things like that.
Yeah,
Throwing
But yeah,
ideas off of each other.
I'll definitely get in touch with Nick, and then Pete, if you want to get in touch with Sam, that'll be great.
Yeah, I want to say that Pete, yeah, go ahead and get in touch with Sam. I want to say that I'm friends with him. We follow
I'm
each other
sure.
on Facebook, but
I'm sure.
I would love to have an official link up with Cuber School, get him on this thing, and like maybe even get him a bit in the magazine. So talking about the magazine, segue time. So
cool.
Roy's in the chat. I am writing a 5-pager. I owe it to him. I'm about three days late, tweaking it a little bit, making it right. So Roy is actually going to be drawing the 5-page comic that's in the community magazine. Justin from Podunk Comics, sorry, was in the chat earlier and interviewed him yesterday, and he'll be the main feature in the magazine. Vic is going to be doing a great piece on to be determined. I don't want to throw it out there too early on what you will learn from Vic and some art lessons in the book. So there's a lot of things, and we'll also have comics. Maybe might have Pete do something with some underground, maybe highlight some super underground guys. That could be kind of a cool idea.
Always about it. Always.
Some of the underground, not the indie, not the mainstream,
Not the-
the underground. I like that.
It's
Underground
and
section.
the only reason I use that word is because just to differentiate. And then the first thing that pops in my head is like, because Steph Wilson is indie, but Steph Wilson is in demand, and Steph Wilson, like, go to eBay, type in Steph Wilson.
Yeah. I
Wow,
know.
good for him. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love his stuff. Great guy, nice guy. Been on streams with him. He's super popular. He's indie. He's what indie. You think indie comics? Steph Wilson's art. Well, I'm an indie guy, but I'm not. My page rate is way different than Steph's, and that's the way it should be right now because he's in demand. So I'm definitely more the underground, and I think a lot of folks, I think that's what it That's what a good way to differentiate. Not one isn't better than the other. We just indie now is almost mainstream. You know these guys, and especially how indie comics are now ending up in stores. Like again, Sam. I just sent him a message, by the way. Sam is a perfect example of getting his books into stores, into with retailers. He's so good at it. So now you're getting and Larry too. I mean, Niobe's in Exciting Comics for Antarctic Press. Niobe's going to be its own book on Antarctic Press. That's freaking amazing. Yeah, that's great. It's still an indie book, but it's more mainstream than, say, you know, the zine I'm probably putting out in a few months, you know?
Well, I don't know what happens. If you end up in a magazine with the Underground, does it not count?
Well, it depends. Well, here you go. It depends. And I'm not giving anybody any, like, you can produce your own slick comic book, go to Comics Wellspring, Kablam, and make your own book. That's cool. Whatever. Their customer service puts them on a high level for me, because they're very mom and pop. They will chat with you about, oh, listen, this, that, the other thing. Do you want this? The electric crayon is here. Phenomenal.
Come on, Phil.
So I like Kablam. He might not be awake yet. That might just be sleeping Phil.
Sleep.
But so how you make your book, I'm not. It can be underground. It can be indie. I know some people will differentiate. You know, the guy folding his own paper and saddle stitching his own thing and doing all that, or printing it himself, or is it the guy who's, you know, paying for it himself, like completely out of his pocket, even though everybody pays for it themselves actually. So it's almost semantic. It's almost semantics at that point. But I think the real thing that you can bite on is, is this person known where this person's getting hired because their name alone will sell books? Or is this person completely, who the hell is this guy? Why does he have a comic book? Open it up and go, holy shit, this is cool. You know, that's an underground guy. That's kind of the differential.
Yeah, so, well, I think that debate could go on for a long time.
Oh my God, no, forget about it.
I understand your point of view. Talking about what Roy said, he said Comics Cast will be mainstream soon, if not already. We are locked in very clearly right now. We are locked into the indie scene. I think we are low indie. We're not reaching enough people. We're not making money yet. So until we make money, I will call ourselves indie. And then
money. What's that?
When we're
There
making
he
real
is.
money, we can call it. We'll call it revolutionary. Other than that, we're indie right now for sure.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Phil,
What's up,
Leon,
brother?
how are you? Phil
I'm
and I
still
are the perfect.
recovering from being out in the driveway, moving the tundra off the driveway.
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit raspy at the
Where were
pretty
you
damn
at?
cold
Where's
out.
that at?
Phil's down south.
South of Canada. I'm in Indiana, dude. I'm like right between, you know, about 3 hours off from Chicago, about 3 hours off from Indy, about 3 hours off from Lansing or Detroit or whatever, you know.
Well, how
I'm
about
in the
this?
middle of all that.
Other than dealing with the tundra, what do you got going on your plate right now, Phil?
Oh, I just wrapped a cover up for.
Tell him about last night, Phil. Tell him about last night.
What was that? Oh, what we're working on?
Well, the Kaiju Mania. Yeah. I'm even going to share the cover.
That's where I was going.
Phil and I worked
going
together
there,
for about an
Pete.
hour and a half late last night, like till 3 a.m. on the thing I'm going to share for you right now.
I
Okay,
wrapped
cool.
colors on a
Full
cover
screen?
for Kaiju Mania.
Oh, nice.
Vince White did the line work on it, and then it got handed over to Pete to put some trade dress on, and
I shared.
kind of
there it
going through that last night. And
There
I'm
it
also
is.
working on a 5-page with Pete for that.
Oh, nice. I love how you can tell Phil's work from like 8 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Absolutely. No, you can.
Love it. Yeah.
It's funny. I've seen some of the other artists' pages. I saw some of the stuff that Travis Gibb is here. He wrote one of the stories. I think it was for the monster in the top left corner, I think. They look different, but that's so cool that every story is self-contained, but it's the same as we're moving around that spaceship where they're I typed that there. Sorry, my bad. Where the monsters are all doing their thing, but they're being captured by this spaceship to put them in to see who the ultimate monster is, and each team is getting their own monster. So I forget. I apologize. I forget the name of the writer. Wrote the story for my monster there on the bottom right, the metal beast with the rocket launcher. So I designed him and drew up his 5 pages. Then we passed those along to Phil, and then Phil and I, because again we know each other, so while we were while I was inking it too and getting ready to push it over to him digitally, I'd ask him, he's like, hey, what are you thinking about colors for this? How do you do blood splatter? Because it's very violent. And Phil goes, oh, I like to do this, I like to do that. So I kind of worked really in conjunction with Phil. And last night was a perfect example. It's like, what do you think of this? Where should we put this? No, make that blue, make that an outline. It was really cool just to. I know people say you don't like to see people make sausages, but it's a lot of fun to watch people make comic books.
Yeah, no,
And I always have fun along the way. I try and help out when I can, so, because I've done editorial work, art direction, editor in chief on some books, and I was an artist before a colorist. Some people think I'm just a colorist, but I do draw occasionally.
No, just a colorist.
Do what?
I'll do everything.
Yeah, I just keep adding to the utility belt. This year, I already decided I'm going to shake off. I've got a lot of the other little gadgets in the utility belt, but I'm shaking off my pencils this year. This is the year I'm going to start doing pencil work again.
I love. For me, I just get super ADD about stuff, and I was really working on inks there for that 1 year, and so now I'm all about painting. I want to paint so bad right now.
I think once I'm getting ready to move in the first couple weeks of March, but after I do that, I am getting the easel set up and the canvases out that have been sitting around and the paints. I think I might
get that wide angle. I want to see you on those ink, and I want paint everywhere. I want paint on your face.
I'm not quite as messy as that. I do have shirts that are covered in it that I wear when I do that.
I got stuff
but
on
man, doing digital, I do not miss the extra mess and the cleaners and all that. The colors.
As soon as I go digital, I miss all the ink in my fingernails.
It is one thing
splatter claps with the freaking I love it.
The thing I miss is the feel of the tooth on a paper, pencil on paper, man. And I kind of do have that with my Wacom, but I've used my Wacom so much, I need a new cover for it because it doesn't have that little bit of grit and drag that I would normally get off of it.
Right.
Yeah, I had to get one of those plastic screens you put on just to get that pencil feel. Because when I first went digital, it just didn't feel right. I didn't like how smooth. Yeah, well,
you're working on What are you working on, Vic?
I work on an iPad and a Huion.
I got you, Vic. I got you.
Yeah, so with that slick stuff, I understand. With the Wacom,
I got one. Yeah, for the iPad, I got one, and it works. I like it.
And it gives you kind of not super toothy, but then you could also buy caps for the pencil, and then it gives you so you still have it still picks up the speed that because the Apple Pencil is pretty. I use Procreate, so it's still pretty real to what you're doing, but it still gives you that little itty bitty resistance that
Let's see what
good stuff does.
With the Wacom, other than the Cintiq, I imagine the Huion is pretty much the substitute for the Cintiq. You're on screen with it. I'm using like a.
All I know is my Wacom turned into a damn paperweight, and I sent it to Gerald. So
why did it turn it? Why? What's that? Oh, was it not an on-screen one?
No, it was a 32-inch rotating, touching, and everything. Like it was a great.
Touching everything.
Oh yeah, I'm just. We know how you like to be touching your tablet there, Joe.
Wow.
I know that's some private information that you should keep to yourself. No, I don't know. I don't know what you do, man. But
But no, with me,
everyone.
I've not been all fancy with it.
Attracted to me, it's okay. I'm used to it.
I'm just picking. You know that, Joe, man. I've known you for how long now? Probably 2-3 years now.
2-3 years. Sean's known me for 5.
5,
wow,
yeah.
Cool.
Dude, I don't remember how I discovered you, but I'm starting to get these memories of I think I discovered you because you posted something about the Batman starting Batman versus Wolverine drawing you did.
Oh yeah.
And then I followed you on there, and then you changed your name so many damn times. It went from Joe Tall Art to Comic Arts. Where
you've been changing your nom de plume, Joe.
And then that's a nice memory. Joe, Phil, and I met in a place where we will not talk about because it will trigger us. And,
PTSD. No.
right?
Wait, Pete. I don't remember. Tell me. Then I can get triggered. I don't remember.
All our online convention stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where we all met.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that,
no.
you push that one. That's a regressed memory,
Right, he pushed
man.
that back.
When you
Yo,
go to
Phil,
the
you're right.
therapist, he's going to bring that out of you, man.
Yeah, that was two different people that I ended up breaking professional connections with. It's tough.
It happens.
It happens.
Man.
It happens.
You know, I still got on his.
But hey, I wouldn't have ran into a lot of you guys either, man, if it wasn't for that.
Those are facts.
I wouldn't have ran
Those
into
are facts.
Joe. I wouldn't have ran
I mean,
into
the thing is,
Pete.
it was everybody trying to do something that was good.
Yeah.
And professionally just disagreed in the long run. But as long as everyone's trying to do the right thing, if we don't necessarily like each other, that's fine. You know, you don't have to like everybody. You don't have to agree with everybody. But I think.
But you should at least try to get along with them.
Yeah. So I would say
on a surface level, anyhow. You know?
Yeah, I would say, as we like to know, quote unquote, the old man. I like that he's still getting after it, and I think that he's still got a fan base, and his YouTube channel's doing solid, and
it still gets people's stuff out there.
Yeah,
and it gets people's stuff out there.
So I'm good with him. He may not be good with me, but that's fine. Now the other guy, we're done.
Wait, are you talking about are you talking about that one dude that used to join us when we did those like really weird Instagram lives, or when we did those like StreamYard shit? Like it was that dude from like, I can't remember his name, but he used to draw like fucking dinosaurs every fucking time.
Fucking dinosaurs! Oh my god, that's a whole.
Oh wait, I saw that on
book.
I saw that on OnlyFans.
Yeah, that was our OnlyFans feed. We only did it once.
I did that on OnlyFans.
We put it on.
Whoa, Joe! You don't need to advertise.
I guess there's a fetish for everything.
I'm not allowed to advertise my OnlyFans.
All I know is that Sean draws dinosaurs doing stuff, and then he does a weird dance on top of them. Or was it just the dance part? Or was it just the dinosaur part? I can't remember which.
That took a turn.
You gotta go to Sean Draw's Instagram. He does a lot of dancing. You guys will learn some skills.
I don't know what you mean. Like if you go to Joe's Joe's Facebook profile, you can see pictures of him just flexing like out of the norm. like this man. I think I remember this man once entered like a bodybuilding competition and made Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a.
Oh, you mean old Joe Cena over there?
No, wait till Joe discovers that he can get stuff tailored in the arms and the bicep pectoral region, so he could look even more, you know.
Yeah.
He's gonna get that shiny. He's gonna get that shiny helmet going on, and.
Why do you think he wears a jacket in every broadcast? He doesn't want to show off his like muscles. He's afraid that the women are gonna be like.
Well, Sean, while you prep for the winter season, I don't want to make you feel intimidated hanging out with me. You know?
Listen. I'm not intimidated. I know what I know my place in this world.
That's fair. That's fair too.
Nah, I love you, man. No, it's all good. Listen, I stay in shape because if I don't, I love to eat. So it allows me to eat as much as I want. That's really what
I use Joe as a model for that.
Oh yeah.
I use Joe as an example for that.
I stay in shape lifting one hot pocket at a time, man.
Yeah, all the way through. Oh well, let's talk about that. What do we got, Vic? Do you want to talk about what we're doing going into the Super Bowl, since we're talking about staying in shape going into the Super Bowl?
Yeah. So I guess this week we're going to be starting it. We are going to be doing. Okay, the name eludes me. It was one of those names that I was like, what was it called again? But
Indie's Face Off, Last Man Standing, or something like that.
Yeah, indie character face off, something like that. Where we're getting 20 different indie comic book characters, and we're gonna have them go up against each other, and we're gonna have everybody vote on who would win between these characters. So everybody's gonna see who's gonna. We're just gonna pick names out of a hat. We're gonna see who goes up against who, and then everybody gets to vote on which character would win to advance. And then Super Bowl Sunday, we're gonna announce the winner of the giant tournament
So does that
to,
mean like what you'll have a list of like their powers and stats
Yeah,
and all
so
that
do
stuff?
you-
Yeah, we're gonna have a little
Hey,
bio. We're gonna have
Do
all
you
that stuff for
have?
them.
Do you have? I know I just brought this up out of nowhere. Do you have your example that we were going to toss out to people?
Yeah, let me get that
See if
here.
we pull it up. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool idea, pretty cool concept. Now listen, there's not. First off, yeah, thank you. I'm digging that you guys are liking it. So the idea is that it's not anywhere in it are we doing any putting up money or somebody who guessed the winner gets money from us, but nothing's going to stop you guys from doing anything you guys might want to do. That's all I'm going to say. But Comics Cast does not endorse gambling.
It's legal in New York now, so I don't care. Just do whatever you got to do.
Let's see here.
Vic's running it down. I can see it. I can see it on the screen.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
speak for
it's
Joe.
taking a minute to load up.
I don't speak for Joe, but
All right,
like
Sean.
Comics Cast does endorse staying in shape.
Yep, it does. We endorse
I'll eat
healthy
to that.
living, but we also endorse being happy in your own body.
Exactly.
Yeah, but and I would say as an artist though, if you're strapped to the drawing table, doing it on the regular, and even if you're doing that as your main gig, I always recommend to get up and stretch and do get a little bit of exercise in.
Yeah, a
there.
lot of some of my
yeah.
favorite artists, they'll get on Instagram and they'll just they'll go for a walk for like 20 minutes. And that's like their thing. They just go out. They're like, hey, I'm Instagramming now. I answer your guys' question while I walk. And there's some of the top names, so it's important to get out there and at least get the blood flowing and stuff.
Yeah, it is. You can't be too sedentary for too long.
Yeah, once we go and once we show you guys these cards, really of what they are. God, it reminds me how much I want to have like indie cards that we produce. One of the things I've always wanted to do is do something very similar to what they do with Upper Deck and have like
Sketch cards. Yeah.
indie sketch cards for indie characters. But until we have something like money that's actually coming in, I can't really go on that route. So the focus right now is the community magazine and getting that off the ground and then going straight into the app. So
this is our example.
Here we go.
Example that we made.
You gonna pull it up?
This is just the example of a character card that we were thinking. Now we used Spiderman for this just because we're doing an example, but this is going to be the layout for it, where we show a character, and it'll be indie character. We just used Spider-Man just as an example, but yeah, putting these all together with all the information at the bottom, it'll have like links to the character, whatever hashtags might be used, just to get just have a fun thing for all the indie community to have. And these are also going to be like when we do this little tournament that we're doing. These are what we're going to be putting together of the characters, so everybody could read about the characters and decide who should win their section and go on to the next round.
Epic rap battles of victory.
There we go. We need Phil to do. Who will win this battle of epic proportion?
You guys remember epic rap battles?
Yep.
Epic rap battle of victory. Who will win?
I got it mixed up with Avatar. My kids are watching that right now. Talking about watching, segue, boom, boom, boom. All right, who here is watching Power Rangers in space with bounty hunters?
Oh,
I'm watching Boba Fett.
Oh, you're talking about? Oh, yeah, yeah.
First-
Boba Fett.
first,
That's
hold
right.
on.
You mean Book of
hold on.
Mandalore? I mean
Here we
Book
go.
of Boba Fett.
Wait.
Anybody
Spoiler.
watching? Spoiler warning first. If you haven't seen
Yeah,
Book of
we're
Boba
gonna
Fett,
talk. We're gonna talk Boba Fett. So
we're
if
gonna
you
talk
wanna
Book of
jump-
Boba Fett right now.
If you want to jump on, the link to it is on the top of the chat. Go to it on YouTube and Facebook, and jump on and we'll chat. I think Pete ran away. He doesn't want to be a part of it.
No. I was eating, so I didn't want to,
Oh, you can.
Oh, I thought he was containing his anger because we were going to talk about.
No,
Boba
I
Want
have
to give
no
us an
anger.
ASMR session?
I have no anger. I like hearing what everybody has to say because I have a theory that might be a little crazy.
Yeah.
But well, it's. I guess I'm going first. I think this show, yes, is a Mandalorian, the Mandalorian Dinjarin's side story. Okay, definitely. This is a vessel to explore that character. Okay, to further that character. Now, here's the thing, though. What they're going to do at the same time is because remember, these are all people like, oh, they hurried up to make that episode. No, they didn't. Do you know how expensive that episode probably was?
And how long production time takes?
These were all in the can already, kids. They have a plan. These guys have a plan, and I think the plan revolves around the Darksaber and the Mandalorians becoming another culture, another powerful culture as they were. Because if you remember, Clone Wars, they were basically in civil war. The Mando, the guy we know, Grogu's dad, he was technically part of the group called Death Watch that went back to the roots of the Mandalorian culture, where now they took away the whole conquering worlds thing, but they said the martial arts, the combat arts are a religion, and that's how we live by. Okay?
Right.
Now you flip the script a little bit. There was no helmets, don't take off your helmet, blah blah blah. There was another couple groups. I'm gonna get some names wrong, but we're gonna go why this ties into Boba Fett.
Hey,
so I'm gonna cut it there.
As long as you try, I'll give you respect.
I'm gonna cut it. First we go to Boba Fett's dad, Jango Fett. Remember, his original parents were killed by Death Watch, and then where is it? Yeah, okay. I wrote his name down, but I can't read my own handwriting. One of the Mandos who was there, who was part of another sect of Mandos, I believe they were the Commandos, took Jango in as his own, basically a foundling, and raised him as his son for 15 years. And they fought Death Watch tooth and nail. Tor Vizsla, I believe it was Tor Vizsla, one of the descendants of the man 1,000 years earlier, the first Mando, the only Mando Jedi who created and stole back the Darksaber.
Oh yeah.
I know some of my stuff, kids. He killed Jango's adopted Mandalorian father. Captured Jango, sold him into slavery. Jango, being the badass that he was, took over, got freed, got his armor back, killed Tor Vizsla, and then said, "Screw this! I'm going to become a bounty hunter." Yada yada yada. Now the Jedi and the Republic were involved in this. It's actually funny. At that point, Count Dooku was working for the Republic with Death Watch. And then a few years later, all of a sudden, it's now Darth Tyrannus working with Jango Fett, getting him to be the donor for the clones. Because Jango was, at that point, whatever. But if you look, Boba Fett if you see on his chest, you can kind of see it in the painting I have here a little bit. He has that little white logo, right? Mm-hmm. That's his grandfather's sigil.
Oh.
Okay, he still wears that. I believe that Boba Fett realized, because if you saw his reaction when he was in the Mando, when he saw Bo-Katan and stuff like that, and Sasha Banks, sorry, I'm still just going to call her Sasha Banks. I think Boba Fett wants to harken back to the age of his father and try to reunite. He sees he's not going to be able to reunite the Mandalorians, and he really doesn't care to, but he thinks that this guy, played by Pablo Pascal, can unify the Mandalorians as a culture again. And I think he got that idea when the Tuskens saved him and took them in as his own. He realized, this tribe can unify with other tribes, and we can do something. And they can, because the Darksaber has taken over in Mandalorian culture as the sigil of leadership.
Yeah, no, I'm down for a lot of your theories. And I won't take over the next part of the conversation, but I'll say this much. My frustration with the show is that I don't think it's well produced enough and well thought out enough to make that happen. I think there's
fair.
There's people that are close enough to it. I mean, we've got the next best thing from George Lucas very close to this project. But I've had every element of emotion watching Boba Fett, to total disappointment, to total happiness, to just being overly pissed off that it's just not good. So I hope you're right. I'll put it that way. Sean, that is a awesome Mandalorian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right, because there's a lot going on.
Vic, do you want to take over the next part? I don't want to monopolize. And you haven't had.
I was gonna say, so Yeah, the show's bad. I have a weird theory that when they get these what they call when they get the dailies back and they see the show and they're just like, man, this show's not good. Thinking about it, like, so that last episode, there was no Boba Fett in it at all. None
That's
at
why
all.
it was
So
good.
it made me, exactly. So it made me wonder, because Boba Fett Mandalorian season 3 is coming. Did they take an episode from that and throw it in here, so that way they could, because it was just him building his ship. That's a great way to open season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, making the hot rod. Did you
Yeah,
notice when
doing
they
all that
started
little
it up, it sounded like a V8 for a minute?
It still does. But I think that's a way.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean, Pete. My bad.
I think that's a way to get a lot of the clutter out of the next season of Mandalorian, so it can get right to the juicy stuff and not have to worry about this tertiary bullshit that we're seeing now in Book of Boba Fett. I do think the problem is they're putting a lot of Mando's garbage into Book of Boba Fett, but hopefully there's a means to an end.
I'll ask this question to the group: are we ready? Okay, let me rephrase. Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian show was a huge fan reaction. It was a huge element of positive feedback from the fans. So they went with this, and they did the same thing. They went with graphics to recreate the face, juniorize him, make him look younger. Is it time to get another actor? With respects to Mark Hamill, let Mark Hamill be an older Jedi Knight, be a badass, but we need a new actor to play him if it's going to be a recurring role.
I think if it's bigger than what it is now, like right now, it's just, it's a lot of shots from the back or the side. They try not to show him too much. I think if they're going to do, like, he's going to have an arc on a show, like a bigger arc than this, I think they should recast him. Sebastian Stan pretty much looks like Mark Hamill. Just throw a wig on him.
Here's the thing about Sebastian Stan, though. Now that he's got superhero stuff. Yeah, and you're right, absolutely right. But now that he has that, and I'm being completely serious. Now that he has that Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson crappy movie under his belt right now, huh? Now that he has that under his belt, do we really want him? Would Disney really have somebody to go from playing somebody who had a porno to Luke Skywalker?
I wasn't even tracking.
Tommy Lee? Tommy Lee?
Well, yeah, Tommy Lee.
But that story is about the sex tape.
How was he involved with that?
Sebastian Stan is playing Tommy Lee.
Oh, well, I mean,
I'm just saying
he's gonna be more well known as the Winter Soldier than he's ever.
No, I get that, but you still when a little kid Googles it, it's still gonna come up, and I guarantee you Disney thinks about stuff like that.
But here's the thing: would a little kid know that Tommy Lee did a porno?
Doesn't matter, but doesn't matter. But if a little kid can do a Google search and the porno can still come up.
Not on stage.
Do it right now. Do it right now. Do it right now.
No,
do it right now. Do it right now.
No, don't do it right now. Don't nobody put porno on the show right now.
It'll come up.
Don't do anything with your phone.
It'll come up. It just will. Disney thinks about this stuff. The mouse thinks about this stuff. I think he got put in timeout while he looks at porn.
See, that's why I took him off because I don't want him. Sean, don't show us any.
God damn it! You want to see what the?
He's still looking.
What came up?
It'll come up.
I don't even want to bring it up full screen.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
What came up? I'm just curious.
Joe Tolliver does weightlifting.
I want to see what the search is.
No, all I did was I searched up Tommy Lee and just said his biography. That's all that came up. Unless it was Sebastian Stan as Tommy Lee or something.
Oh my gosh!
If you put Tommy Lee in, it's just gonna say Motley Crue.
No. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one down.
And that depends on previous searches.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're searching a lot of porn, Pete, then that's on you. But
Not on this laptop. It's not a Mac.
This isn't the secured device I use.
He has to open up a private tab in order to search that up.
No, I have a whole.
We're going off the rails here.
I have a whole nother machine in a whole nother room.
We have
Off
good
the rails
people.
on the crazy train.
We have good people in the chat that are watching, so let's not
Listen,
ruin. our-
Arelis is the moderator on my Twitch stream, on my Twitch channel.
Yeah.
So
Well, she should come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you this is a PG broadcast.
Ish. This is our Friday freestyle, so anything really goes as long as it's legal. For the most part.
fair. That's fair.
I try to keep it where people can come on and do what they want.
Where's
Anyway.
Trill,
All
by
right,
the
so
way?
here's the thing.
Girls,
Since we're talking about
he's
Marvel,
taking care of family stuff right now.
Okay.
yeah. So since we're talking about Marvel and Disney, I read an interesting story this week. Do you guys know who the director Roland Emmerich is? He has that movie. He did Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
He has a movie coming out called Moonfall. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's on
So he
Netflix?
said he came out this week and said he believes that Marvel and Disney are ruining movies at the movie theater. So they're essentially ruining movie theaters right now. which is why
Scorsese said
people
I
that.
saw that. I saw
Yeah,
that.
that is not the first person who said it.
Yeah,
so I will
Scorsese said that.
I'll take this before Pete does, and then everyone can bounce off of what I said. So my thing about that is one thing. It's not just Marvel that's doing it. It's a combination of things. Number one, people have TVs and surround sound in their house.
Yep.
The price of going to a movie theater is ridiculous.
Yep.
And if you can have the same experience at your house that you can at the movie theater, why go? So
You can pause and go take a whiz. You can go get food from the refrigerator that's not costing
Right.
you $20 for a bag of popcorn.
So what these guys need to understand is the serious filmmakers, the guys that are really doing the dramas and the cop dramas, stuff like that. They have to understand people are going to the theater because they're going for a roller coaster. If you can't have that roller coaster in your house, then you're going to go to the theater. You're going to bring all of your family. You're going to bring your kids because it's family friendly, and it's going to be this big roller coaster fun, and everybody's have a great time. It's going to cost you $80, and then you're done. But all the other stuff you can stream at home, you can rent at home, you can buy at home, and you'll watch it at home and you'll enjoy it. So these guys that are feeling this way, I get it, totally get it. But cinema is different than it was when we were kids 30 years ago. And even then, the movies I remember going and seeing were like Jurassic Park, Batman.
You know, it's almost like saying, let's go back to we don't want talkies. We want the silent stuff and somebody playing an organ. We got to, that's staying true to the format. I mean, things progress, things change.
Yeah.
Why not give them the option? I mean, you just open yourself to more audience that way. People don't want to go to theaters, stay home. People that want to go to theaters.
Yeah, and when we were younger, they did this. There was the summer blockbusters.
Mm-hmm.
It was all these movies would have come out in the summer, and then you had, winter, whatever, a couple
in
movies would
Christmas.
come out, but nothing like now. Now it's
Well, you know
all
why
year
now,
round,
right?
these
'Cause we're
giant, big
all
movies.
grown up. We can go
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
what we
The
fucking want.
people that went to those movies now grew up and Look, I understand. I'm going to use Scorsese as the example because the other gentleman I really don't know his list of work. Okay, Scorsese, Goodfellas. Okay, he has made some
Fantastic.
some seminal films.
He's a titan.
Yes, absolutely. So I can understand the things that he says about cinema and film definitely hold weight. But this is where it doesn't. There is no Scorsese right now. There is no this generation Scorsese. There aren't guys putting out movies. There isn't somebody putting out. There are actors that can fill the role, but there aren't people putting out things like Goodfellas. And I can say that because they're remaking. Look, listen. He's back. He's not now.
No, he is.
He's not a. He's not. He's no. What I'm saying.
Hollywood.
He's not a. Phil, hold on a second. First off, hold on. He's not a young. Tarantino isn't young. I'm talking. There is no young maverick putting out Goodfellas types films because remember Tarantino makes his own movies. Now guys are remaking everything.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go to the movies because the kids want to go to the movies, because remember at the end of the day we're talking about what the American public wants to consume. What the movie-going public wants to consume. If they want to go to the movies, what do we want to see? Do we want to see a French adaptation of something? No, you know the kids at NYU will go see that. That's fine. Do we want to go see a? Do we want to go see a remake, a bad remake of a movie that wasn't really that great to begin with, or do we want to see something? Well, yeah, but you know, here's the thing.
I want it better.
It's
that's the only time you should do a remake is if it could be done better.
But here's the thing: they're remaking everything, so it doesn't matter. There's no rhyme or reason. They're just remaking everything. Or do you want to go see something like you use Michael Bay as the example, where everything's just blowing up? There's a cute girl, there's some robots fighting, and then the end.
Well, here's the thing: the studios do not want to take risks anymore, and
no, they don't, because there's nobody.
They're doing just like the record companies did. It's like, let's just stick with the same formula because we know it sells.
Because there's nobody making anything worthwhile original, and that's
the only guys the only one I can think of that's like has made a movie like that. Okay, so when Ben Affleck does his serious movies, he makes decent movies.
Yes, right. He makes good movies.
You've seen. What was his bank robbing movie?
Oh yeah.
He made Argo, and then he made.
Argo was good too. Argo was really good too.
And they were really good, but
I know exactly the town.
Fantastic movie, absolutely fantastic movie, but it's not making the money as like these bigger movies. So what's happening now is these guys that want to make movies, they're going to streaming services.
Yeah,
because they're going to make more money on the streaming service than they're going to do at the box office.
Agree 1,000%.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's the same as Pete just.
I just want to make sure that we have a chance to highlight Phil's artwork during this art stream while we're chatting. Can you go back one, Phil, because you had an amazing piece.
Which piece is that?
One of the best pieces I think you've ever made.
This piece, maybe? Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely amazing.
I'm glad you.
Now, who did the line work on that one?
I can't remember.
You really saved that line work, Phil, with the colors. Good job.
God.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was a good one. I enjoyed working on that with you, Joe, man.
Yeah.
I'm not shy. That's good. Vic, I really like what you're saying. That's really good point, though. There's good movies being made, but nobody's seeing them because they're just getting buried. And people will see, it's like I tell people all the time. I'm a wrestling fan, so I haven't sent my money to Vince McMahon in a long time because I didn't like the product. Because at the core of everything in this country, in a capitalistic economy, you speak with your dollar. If I don't like something, I will not fund it. I will not support it financially. It doesn't get my money. Okay, that's how I speak. That's the biggest voice I have. So I don't send my money to Vince McMahon. So if the people want to go to the movie theaters, they're going to spend their money, and like Joe said, their exorbitant amount of money, they're going to spend that. They want to see something. But the people need to speak up. What do you want to see? Do you want to keep getting fed, cookie cutter, high octane comic book movies? Do you want Fast 97? Like, Fast and Furious 432? You tell me, the people need to speak with their dollars, and I think they're starting to, but Hollywood still doesn't get it.
Well, I'm gonna kick back a little bit, push back a little bit on you, Pete, a little bit on that one. So, yes, people are starting to push back, but it's not because they don't like watching fun comic book movies. They just want to keep seeing the same solid comic book storytelling movies. They don't want to see movies that are designed for the sole purpose of pushing whatever messaging that they want to push.
Okay, I'm with that. They want let's clarify for all the comic book nerds here. They want what Chris Claremont did with the X-Men.
Exactly.
Where he had an opinion, but we didn't know what his opinion was because he had respect for us as a consumer to make our own opinions based on the subject matter, not trying to push an agenda or an idea down our throats. Yeah?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, perfect.
So, cool. I think, just to clarify, so people aren't like, well, fuck Joe, and I love Pete. I think people miss
no one loves me.
Point of view on this. So like Captain Marvel, I think is a perfect example of this, right? The movie could have been really great. For me personally, my favorite thing about Captain Marvel is that in the books, she fell in love with this alien that she didn't know was an alien, and then he dies and she takes his name. as a superhero. That was like a big piece of it for me. Now, in the movie, they could have done a lot of different things. I watched it. 100 other people watched it. You know, it made $1 billion, which is great. But I think that movie is a perfect example of they pushed every male character to the side to have a female character, and they pushed a lot of elements in there that they didn't need to have a very strong badass woman. And it's one of those things. It's like, you know what? I get it. Do that. Push that element because she is a badass. But when you take away all the positive male characters in her space in the book, and you replace them with females, and then the only male that's there is a bad guy, it's like,
when you're only when it's clear pandering, basically.
Yeah. So be better. As
I totally agree with Nerds of the Round.
I mean, you can have badasses like that. Look at Riley from look at Aliens, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, Nerd of the Round. Captain Marvel suffered from origin. Also, it's still better than Iron Man 3 and Thor: Dark World.
I like Thor: Dark World, but Origin. I like Origin movies. I just didn't like that one.
Yeah, Dark World.
Because it was a bad origin. Because it was badly written.
It was.
Well, see, the thing.
No, I just. I think I'm with Joe a little bit on that because I'm kind of like they couldn't do the comic book origin because they were already that too far gone with the MCU, but they could have come up with something a little bit better, and probably had they not, and then what Nerds Around is saying, it suffered from origin, probably had they not been wanting to push an agenda. You know, okay, could have like look at the one character in that movie, and it's my favorite character from that movie. Meanwhile, I did enjoy the movie, the cat.
Yep, that's what I was just gonna say.
The cat was not pushing an agenda. The cat was just, I'm a cat, but I will ruin everything right now. Yeah. Like, and look, just like anybody who's had a cat, that's what cats do anyway. And he looks like, I will say this, he looks just like my cat. I don't know if it was a chair to the face. I think you got to calm down with that a little bit.
I enjoyed it, but I get it. I'll say one last thing, I guess. And that is, I just don't want any group to be pigeonholed and showed a certain way. And I think right now, Marvel's in a situation where they're deciding a group of people need to get shown a very specific way, and that's it. And if they want to keep making money, well, let's just say this: if they want to keep printing their own money,
there you go.
Then keep putting great characters out. The fan base doesn't care who they are, what their gender is, who they sleep with. They don't care. They just want good characters and everybody to be treated with the respect and dignity. That's it. That's it. All those guys that misconstrue me as being toxic or whatever, that's all I want. I just want everyone to be treated with respect and no group to be treated and amplified as this terrible villain. I think that's
Thor Ragnarok did a good job of that, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think Thor was a good.
It was pretty balanced across the board.
I think we've talked, Phil, about this before. I hated Thor Ragnarok when I first watched it because I thought the tone was all wrong. I was like, his people all die. Like, it should be dramatic and sad and all these things, and it should be the first few moments of Endgame, you know? It should be that, the entire movie. But then you watch it again, and I watched it again, and it just grows on me every single time.
It was fun, wasn't it? After you just took down the defenses and just watched it for what it is.
It's so much fun. Yeah, brother. You too, man.
What I'm looking forward to is Moon Knight. I want to see Moon Knight.
Yeah, that trailer looked fantastic.
Yeah. Okay,
and they have a great actor.
I have one problem. It's not his acting is phenomenal. He was great in Dune. I hate Poe Dameron. So he was.
Again. That's just bad writing.
No. Poe Dameron is just a horrible character. He killed so many of his own people by being an asshole. I hate Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just
an actor. I mean,
he was. I know he didn't do a lot, but he was fantabulous in Dune.
Mm-hmm. And imagine what he's going to be able to do with a character like Moon Knight.
I think he's going to be great
and complicated, and
he's got to be a little schizophrenic.
And
No one talks about the new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, but see, you know what? Here you go. Hold on a second. Hold on.
No,
I'm gonna. I know nerds around it, and this is. But I'm gonna pause for a second.
You know what we need to do, Pete? Before you get into this, we need to. You need to moderate. Get in the middle. We'll figure out a way to put you in the middle, and one side will be Comics Cast, and the other side will be Nerds of the Round, and we could just be facing at each other like, no.
That's fine. But my thing with that, and it's not about that I'm defending Star Wars or anything, because look, as much as I love everything Star Wars, I know what's bad is bad, but I'm allowed whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
but sitting here and taking a stand like that, making a statement like that, is also part of the reason why some of these movies suck. Okay? Or part of everything sucks. Let people enjoy. If somebody liked it, let somebody enjoy it. Don't tell me I can't talk about it because I can't talk about it. Like, let people enjoy it. Like, okay, I'm going to put it to you like this. And y'all know this is true. They'll announce a movie at San Diego Comic-Con. All they'll have is the title of the movie. You won't know what it is. You don't know anything about it. The next day, there's already clowns on the internet saying shit like that. Don't talk about it because it's going to be bad. It hasn't even been written yet. How the hell do you know it's going to be bad? Yeah. Like, Joe and I remember, and Phil too, remember you'd be sitting there watching TV, then a thing called a trailer would come on the TV, and you'd get excited. Oh, wow, that's going to be cool. 3 months later, you might see another one when you were watching TV. And then all of a sudden, the next day, you'll see, coming out in two weeks. And you'll look at it in the newspaper. Then you'll have to go to the newspaper and look up the time and then beg your mom and dad, hey, can we go see this on such and such a day?
To the theater.
Yeah, can you drop us off at the movie? Can you drop us off at the... And your dad be like, yeah, let's go to the matinee. It's only $2. Or whatever it was,
Can I get an advance on my...
Yeah.
Let's go to the dollar theater where there's
You're exactly right. I remember.
Exactly. But and no one, and then my point was you got to go see something, and then after you saw it, you decided if it was shit or not.
Yeah.
You didn't just say it was garbage. You didn't just say it. You just didn't say it was garbage because it was until you saw it. And and I see the comment. The second director of the third movie. I absolutely that. My problem with the trilogy, I'm going to stop you right there because you know what I'm going to say right now. My problem with the trilogy is that we had the hero. We had the hero. His name was Finn. Finn, the saved stormtrooper that should have been the Jedi. And then they dropped him because, yes, the second director basically is what he did with it. Finn was the guy. But we needed Mary Jo, whatever, to be the hero. That's my problem with it. But it's still Star Wars, so I still love it.
I would have rather seen Mary Jo, whatever.
Well, Finn. I was upset about Finn, and before anybody anywhere, not because he was a minority actor or this, that, the other thing. No, because Finn could have been anybody. Because I say the same thing, and I know she had to leave because she had to go finish Game of Thrones. Captain Phasma. Why did you guys let that happen?
Yeah, the whole Captain Phasma thing was a joke.
Why did you let...
Never used properly. Come on, give me a break.
Why did shit was...
You know what?
Sorry,
I'll give you
I'm sorry.
I will give the sequel trilogy credit on one thing, and that is Captain Phasma, because that is the Boba Fett of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
She has
so
much to
That's
offer
facts.
That I think we will see a lot more from her in the next 20 years.
Maybe. Some of her books, some of her prose books are fantastic.
Oh, yeah? I can't find myself to pick up any Disney Star Wars books. I just can't.
No, it's not. There's a lot of fan stuff, too. Google some stuff on YouTube. Google some stuff on YouTube. Wow, I'm a boomer.
Are you a boomer? Are you a boomer?
I'm a boomer. Go on, do yourself a Google.
Do yourself a Google or watch it on News Faces.
Oh, God, I'm a horrible human being.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have somebody here older than me, so that works.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. You should see how I feel it. You should feel how I work. Everybody at work is like 25 years younger than me.
I don't know why nerds. Why don't you get on here, man? I mean,
because they're afraid.
Oh.
They're afraid. They feel safer behind the keyboard. They're afraid.
I don't understand. What is this? Someone help me out here.
I know them for years. I know the nerds for
Ready
years.
to beat mouse in the backyard.
Now wait, the question: which nerd is it? Is it Sebastian? Is it Lawrence?
I think it's Sebastian.
I think it's Sebastian too. And Sebastian and I have many a long car ride where we've gone back and forth like this. So you're about to get a whole better. This show's about to get an upgrade when you get the. Joe Mickey Mouse. He said you're gonna beat up Mickey Mouse, which is true.
Yeah.
Joe is gonna beat Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
that is true.
Sorry to interrupt, but I gotta finish prep for the con. As much as I would love to hang out, I gotta finish some stuff up.
Oh man, I appreciate you jumping on with us.
But,
thank you.
Hey, listen, Joe.
I'm on the other side.
I know I got a little something I gotta tell you. I have a sketchbook that's coming out. I'm gonna have some tomorrow. If you would like one, I'll be happy to send you one over.
I would absolutely love. I would love to have a sketchbook from you, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks, guys, again. Have a good night. I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good one,
luck,
All right,
Sean.
man. Have a good
Have
one.
fun.
Thanks, man. Bye.
See you later, brothers.
Peace.
Damn,
Yeah,
cute,
Sebastian, you should get your ass
damn
in here. Man.
talented
I'd love to
Cuban
hang out with
school
you for a little
people.
bit.
No. You
I
scared,
love it.
Sebastian. You scared. You scared because you
Sebastian's not
see. No, he's scared. He's felt my wrath. Remember Awesome Con, Sebastian? Remember Awesome Con? Remember when you almost had to sleep on the couch? When you almost had to sleep on the couch with me, Sebastian? I know. I remember. Don't make
I
me
don't
tell
think
that
I'm
story.
ever going to be allowed back on a Nerds of the Realm because I got pretty heated about what they did with Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Like, I absolutely hated that show. The fact that they took a amazing soldier who'd fought with his brothers who didn't give a shit what color they were, white, black, Asian, didn't matter. And he's the Falcon. He served and he fought alongside Captain America. And they decided, you know what? Disney, in their greatness, decided, you know, we're going to make a minority show because our main character is going to be black. But that's not who the character was. So, like, I got on there, we were having a conversation. I was like, you know what? I really don't like what they did with the Falcon. I don't like it. I don't think it was done doing the character service. I think it was not accurate to what the character had been up to that point. I understand people's argument that the shield should have gone to the Winter Soldier. But I also understand the counter argument of that, and I agree with it, that in the MCU, it definitely should have gone to the Falcon.
Yeah.
The Sebastian, he was not, not Sebastian, sorry, the fucking, who's the Winter Soldier?
I forget his name all the time.
Yeah, anyway, the Winter Soldier character was not in a place to get the shield. And it just worked for the MCU, but Bucky, but I'm trying to remember the actor's name. But like when
Sebastian
the
Stan.
show happened,
Sebastian
Stan, yeah. When the show happened, it just felt so wrong. Like they just made it into this thing, and I was just like, oh, it was icky that they had the Falcon who saved the planet can't get a loan from a bank. I mean, come on, man. Like that's just so it's gross. It was just gross. It made me mad.
Yeah, but you know, I'm and this is where where Nerds Around is gonna giggle a little bit. But at the end of it, it wrapped up perfectly. Winter Soldier got invited to the cookout. I mean, geez, that's fantastic. Sorry, you watch Sebastian when they say something. He get invited to the cookout. Look, I think that show had a lot of flaws, but I think
like a terrible costume.
Well, but I think look, it was one of the more comic book accurate costumes, which is really fun. It really was though.
Is that a positive or a negative? Did we learn?
No, it's not. It's not. It's neither here nor there. To be completely honest with you, it's just,
I got you.
Yeah, it's just like like really. Do you really care about the cherry on top of a shit sandwich?
No.
You know, he really did become his brother-in-law. He really did get with Sam's sister. I'm telling you, but. I think that was them trying to transition. Like, we need to make a TV show, and it's got to be this. And then, yes, Disney, the mouse getting on his soapbox and trying to teach us a lesson. And it's like, just tell us a story. We'll figure out the lesson on our own, whatever the lesson is. We really will. We will. We're not all stupid. I mean, I'm stupid, but that's, because I had a lot of fun in college. So there's a difference.
Yeah. My point about all that is that it's kind of going full circle is that I think people are looking for more Disney product. They're still looking for fun escapism. But the great thing about Marvel has always been that they give you escapism with a moral compass, and they always have some way of saying, "Hey, this is where society's at." Marvel has always made commentary on society. That's
Yep.
where they've always
Yeah,
been
social
different than
commentary.
DC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always
Yep,
been
yep,
like
yep.
that. But there was always a line they never crossed.
Yep.
When it's not ham-fisted, and it comes down, basically what it comes down to is good writing. I mean, you can have all that in there, but be a good writer, man. You know.
Anyway, that's my. I don't want to hammer that point on, because I think a lot of people don't understand it, and then they're like, "Oh, they're terrible people to think this way." So I don't want to turn everyone off in this conversation. I'd love to have a back and forth from somebody who disagrees with me. And if you want to come on and disagree with me, I'll have a conversation.
I think it's
about
apparent
it.
at this point.
Yeah.
It's just clear that you know. But that's it. But
It's
not to
clear
defend
everybody.
Disney.
It's not clear to everybody, because
Yeah.
a lot of people that disagree with me, the very first thing they'll say is, "Oh, Joe's a toxic guy."
Well,
I'm like,
man,
don't.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Look around you, man. I'm starting to sound like Phil. Look around you. Everybody is getting heavy-fisted with we got to, you know, with whatever side, whatever they want to preach, they're using their media to preach it. You know, these big companies, that's what they're doing, and okay, cool, but at that point, the people got to speak, and I'm not saying as one. You just say like Joe. You know what? I'm gonna speak for you for a second, Joe. You know, I don't like that Miss Marvel did this. I'm gonna speak about it. Good for you. Don't give Miss Marvel your money next time. Good for you. Perfect. That's great, and that's the best thing that we can do. Guess what, kids? We're all entitled to our opinions. You know, we're all
And you're
entitled.
entitled to like the things I don't like.
Right. And look,
I prefer it not to make money, because I know they'll make more of it if it does.
I'm going to expose myself right now.
Oh God, not on. I
Oh,
don't want
take
to.
a screen out,
No,
take a screen
I'm
out.
going to expose myself. I didn't hate the Ben Affleck Daredevil. I didn't hate it.
Well,
I
that
thought
was
it was
before we had any good superhero movies.
right. It really was, but I was like, oh, this isn't bad. I mean, it sucks, but it's not bad.
I think probably the first best superhero movie was probably Blade.
Blade was phenomenal.
Blade was an amazing one, and Blade
Blade
was
was phenomenal.
the one. Well, I guess, do we want to get into this debate? Blade is the first successful Marvel franchise, and I will talk about how angry it makes me that Marvel isn't bringing back the appropriate Blade actor for the freaking role. That infuriates me.
Now,
That
but
the
what
man
if
is
it's
coming back and taking
but-
over the role again?
But what about, like, you know, fitting the age of what's going on and everything, though, man?
You know what? If we can write galactic, you know,
I mean,
supervillains
like, what do
that-
we want to do it like the Batman
Planet?
thing? Like, here's the old version of, or the old guy Batman, while
Multiverse.
I think
Look,
one of the
they're-
reasons why
we don't
they're
even
not bringing
know
back
multiverse.
Wesley Snipes, they are not bringing back Wesley Snipes because the problems he gave him.
Yeah, his
He
taxes
gave him
stuff, right?
so many problems.
Well, no,
But
drama.
he's
He
got
was
some
the
legal
drama
stuff.
You
queen
watch
on
the
set.
audio commentary on
Yeah,
the
he was
third
bad.
Blade DVD. They are
Yeah.
just ripping into Wesley Snipes because the way he acted. Marvel doesn't want to have to deal with that.
No, that's
Plus,
fair.
they got a better actor. They got a actor
I
who's
mean, he's an amazing
way better
actor.
than Wesley Snipes.
Don't get me wrong.
and,
but-
and it looks like the way it's going to go, that's Blade and probably, damn it, what's the new one? The vampire. Why can't I think of the name right now?
Twilight.
No,
know-
not Twilight. No,
Morbius.
Morpheus. Yeah, I think what they're
Morpheus,
going to do, they're going to, the way it sounds like, Blade and him are going to be brought in somewhere in the Moon Knight series.
So-
Is the way it's sounding like, kind of starting off the dark section of Marvel. Or
Right.
something.
Like DC did
Fair
with
enough.
Constantine and stuff.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough. But what was brought up in the comments, so Nerds brought up Snipes has many problems attached to him. He has to prove himself again in Hollywood. This is where I'm saying, if you're all about, we need to really show, you know, Wakanda, we need to show black-led movies. Wesley Snipes is the first legitimate freaking badass black actor, action hero who owned the scene. Now, did he have some problems? Was he a little bit of a prima donna? Sure, it happened. But I mean, it happens with all of them. Bruce Willis was exactly the same way. And you don't see Bruce Willis getting regulated back to the line.
But I don't
So,
see him getting
for
big
me,
box
I'm
office. I don't
Yeah.
see him getting big box office gigs anymore either.
No,
Here- but here's the, here,
If
If you
people,
have
here you
problems
go.
with your crew and stuff,
Look,
man,
I'm gonna take-
you
I'm
gotta
gonna-
you gotta figure it out whether it's going to be worth it to have them in there or cause a lot of issues with all your
Yeah,
crew.
but if
you
you're
know, not
talking a
just
big game, Phil, if you're talking a big game and you're like, hey, we're leading, we're Disney, we're leading the minority fight, then you bring Snipes back. He's the one that made superhero movies profitable. He's the one that
or bring
started
him back in some fashion, man. Even
Look,
if it's not, you know.
the difference between Snipes and Willis is Snipes had they were both a problem. Okay, we all can agree on that. Snipes screwed up and went broke. Bruce Willis didn't go broke. That's why he doesn't need to get jobs again.
He went broke because somebody said he didn't pay his taxes. Now,
Yeah,
why did that happen?
Oh look, I don't know anything. But I'm just saying one isn't.
I'm just saying.
One is broke, one isn't. You know, that's the Bruce Willis. That's look. I don't want to. I'm not trying to defend Bruce Willis because fuck both of them. To be honest, I don't think they got more money than me, so I don't care. But there's a whole thing going on, and I really kind of lean a little bit towards Joe here with the Snipes thing. Like, hey, he deserves his due. I think is the right way to say it. He deserves to get his due for what he did and for what he represents. But corporate America is so far up its own butt that I don't know if that's going to happen. Because that's
But
what
that
we're
being
talking about
said-
at this point.
I mean, that being said, his replacement is an amazing actor, so he'll be fine. But that being said, do we want to do a spoiler alert as we talk about catnip Western here?
Well, since I haven't watched it, go right ahead. But that's okay.
I'm drawing a blank. What's up?
Which character are you drawing right now?
Me?
Pete.
Oh, that's
Catnip Western, right?
I'm
Is that-
saying,
Oh.
okay, yeah, I'm spoiling the Mandalorian. I'm spoiling Boba Fett for everybody right now.
All right, so going into this question, how do we feel about the live action depiction of one of the coolest bounty hunters that I want to say was his first appearance was in Clone Wars, but I couldn't tell you which episode it was. The dude's a beast.
I was so afraid that I like the way they did the slow reveal. I thought he was gonna be. I was like, please don't look too fake. Please don't look too fake. Please don't look too fake because he's blue. It didn't look fake.
You know, his colors were too saturated for me. I wish that they didn't do it out in the open with the bright sun.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. He's in the desert, so he's probably.
I was gonna say actually he's more saturated within the animated than he is that. I saw some side by side comparisons and
Yeah,
stuff
I'd have
on
to
that.
look because I just felt like the color stuff on his uniform, like I think his facial tone was perfect.
They need to get a little more texture in there though.
Yeah, something was
He
wrong.
was a little too flat.
Yeah, it was a little flat, and I felt like his costume was, like you said, it was a little overly saturated on some of the colors. I don't know. Maybe he just needed to be.
We didn't really get enough of a look of him though. You know, it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying. He didn't have very much screen time at all on that. So
Look,
we'll have to see how it goes leading into the next episode.
I don't know this. I don't know this. Yeah, definitely more time on the beach. I don't know this for a fact because I didn't look it up. I haven't looked it up at all. But is it the same voice actor? Because if not, the guy was spot on.
I want to say it's the same actor. I didn't look it up.
I haven't looked it up, but
I like. He was closer to the Clone Wars actor,
Mhm.
and they could all three be exactly the same actor. But the one that was in what's the other one? He was in,
Bad Batch.
not Bad. Oh, was he in Bad Batch?
He was in Bad Batch.
Yeah, he was in Bad Batch. Yeah, so that one I didn't like. He was too. Was it like he put a really big, heavy Western accent on?
He was in Bad
Like, he was
Batch.
a very Southern accent.
Did they bring him in on Rebels?
I want to say he was on Rebels, but you're right. He was on Bad Batch and he was on Clone Wars, and Bad Batch was not right. Like his accent was really too thick. But I don't know. I dug it. I just thought it was too saturated for me. I wanted him a little bit subdued, colors a little bit, not so much. But I loved his skin tone. It was fun. It was good. His eyes were kind of big, wasn't it? Didn't it seem like his eyes were too big?
His son.
Again, I'll admit this, I'm the worst nerd ever. So when he came out, I was like, "Hey, who's that?" I asked Joe, "Hey,
Screaming.
who's this guy?"
Oh, he's Catnip. No, his name is Cat Bane. Cat Bane, and there's a few episodes if you watch the Clone Wars where he goes head to head against Obi-Wan, and I want to say there was another Jedi there, but they were like jumping all over the place. He was doing stuff. The first time you see him, he's on a mission to like kill a senator. So like he's not a good guy, but he kind of grows on you like everybody.
Obi-Wan. I hope they do that one right. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
somebody
me too.
please tell me why the hell they're doing an Obi-Wan series? He goes.
Ewan
His
McGregor.
whole purpose in life is to, after he's done all these exciting things, he goes over and stays on a sand planet and watches over this guy, and that's all he does for the next 25 years.
Number one, Mark Hamill. I'm not Mark Hamill. What the fuck is his name?
Ewan
Ewan McGregor. It's Ewan McGregor.
He's spotting trains. I know he's an important guy. I got it.
Ewan McGregor will save. Ewan McGregor.
I'll watch
Can't
it.
do no wrong.
I don't care.
Ewan McGregor, number one. Number two, you do have to. All that time. I'm not saying this is gonna be the story. I don't know, but it's number one. It's Obi-Wan's penance for failing with Anakin. A lot of people are saying that theory, and a lot of people are thinking, and I'd like to see that be kind of the tone. Because there's a lot of fan theory stuff, and there's also I don't know if it was comic book stuff when Obi-Wan actually realizes, because he doesn't know that Darth Vader is Anakin. He thinks Anakin's dead.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see him realize on Tatooine, probably drinking, at Mos Eisley, holy shit, that's Anakin.
I can.
Oh my God.
Because the actor's in it. Yeah, Hayden Christensen.
He's going to be in it. I still don't see enough of the story there, but what bothers me about it is that I would love to see that, but what I want to see more is him going back to the Clone Wars elements before maybe even the Clone Wars, and his elements with the Mandalorian Queen,
Satine.
Yeah, and some of the elements with Darth Bane
Darth Maul. Well,
Darth Maul.
There's no way that fight doesn't happen in this series.
I'd rather them not. It's almost like remaking the Lion King in live action. It was done so well. That fight sequence between him and in Rebels, that they earned that shot. They brought back.
Yes.
They brought back that whole story. He was dead in the movies, and they led to that. The Clone Wars series saved that entire storyline. The Clone Wars movies were rough. Like the whole prequels, they were rough. But the Clone Wars redeveloped those characters into something that could have been loved.
And what's saying that he's going to be on Tatooine the whole time either?
Yeah, and I hope you're right. I
think he has to.
I read the books, and my expectation is that's where he goes, and that's where he stays, because that's what he did in the books. He didn't really go anywhere. But that's not canon anymore.
Maybe needs to run off on a few little missions on the side there in between.
Well, it's.
Amelia Clark comes back.
I think at that point in the story is while he's protecting Luke while he's a baby is when Vader and his what do you call them? I almost said exquisitors.
Right.
But you guys know who I'm talking about. It's when him and those guys are running through the galaxy, destroying every little nook and cranny of Jedi, everything, gathering Jedi stuff and Jedi holocrons and stuff like that. And that stuff is canon. So I don't think that Obi-Wan, because I think he would have to know that the Sith would find somebody as powerful as Obi-Wan. I think they would find him. I think we're going to get a lot of flashbacks, for better or worse.
I was kind of thinking that too.
For better or for worse, yeah. Just don't give me the same Book of Boba.
Just don't do it like Boba Fett.
Just don't.
No, you're going to get. No, I think those these have to go. You're going to see a lot of nightmare stuff of him going back, like Good Times with Anakin, because since Hayden Christensen is coming back too for it, you're going to see them. I think we're going to see a lot of the stuff that Clone Wars stuff, but live action, them fighting these guys, them fighting those guys.
Maybe a little bit of Liam Neeson in there.
This is why
good for you, Phil. I like that.
Yeah, him coming back, Liam Neeson would be the perfect thing to teach him that element. But this is the part that just drives me up the wall about Disney and Star Wars and their ideas. They're all garbage. Like, they're just not right. If you want to do a Star Wars show that everybody wants to watch, then take advantage of your Darth Vader, to turning into Darth Vader. And you can bring all of your Obi-Wans and all of your side characters, and it would be insane. That part of Darth Vader's life where he has to learn the machine elements of his body. He has to start like and developing the Empire and hunting down the Jedi. Like, that would be
There
insane.
are some in the last two Marvel Darth Vader comic books went into, and I know they're just comic books, but they went into that. And when I tell you, they are phenomenal. They're unbelievably good, unbelievably real written. Now, I know it's maybe if somebody hasn't done them, if I could find the link, I will. There is a link on YouTube where you can basically YouTube. I said the Google again. You can look up the Darth Vader Marvel current comic books, and there is a guy who actually reads them for you, but not just sitting there reading the book. He basically does like an audio. You know, you see, it's him reading, but the screen is the comic books page by page, and it's all kind of like animated sort of stuff. Vader going back to Padme's grave, Vader when he goes to finding out about Luke, stuff like that. It was a lot of cool stuff. Those books were just, oh my god, so good. And the covers.
They need to use that as the source material then for anything like that. Then
I'm fine with that. I'm just trying to get the angle of the gun.
What are you showing there, Phil? Let me bring it up here.
What's that?
Oh,
Phil
nice.
scribbling on paper.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get shake the rust off on the pencils, man.
This one right here.
Huh?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm digging it. So this book right here, this is the same thing that you would see in those comics.
Great book.
So this is like basically year one of Batman for Darth Vader. Absolutely. If you want to read about cool stuff about the rise of Darth Vader, that's it right there.
Nerds of the Round said, I won't be surprised if they use some of that in Obi-Wan.
I would love
absolutely.
it. I would love
Absolutely.
it. Is it weird that they keep doing that though with Star Wars? Like, why do they keep specifically naming something? Like with Clone Wars, it gave them free reign to develop so many different characters. Why do they keep saying Book of Boba Fett? Like the Mandalorian's perfect example. It's a little pigeonholed because it's forcing the Mandalorian element. But why? Why not?
Because they're probably trying to tie all this in together.
Well,
man.
look, I have a theory with Mandalorian. It goes back to what I was saying before. The Mandalorian, again, we said Boba Fett was the most unused, coolest character in the original trilogy. If you go back and look, the lore and the history of the Mandalorians, the Mandalorian culture, the species, the tongue that were the Mandalores first, and then how it became a culture, having humans and other species involved in it, and all the amazing things that they did. Because, like a lot of people, the Mandalorian culture started on Coruscant.
Nice.
Okay?
That's cool.
So, there's a lot of history to the Mandalorians, and it's never, in none of the movies, is it touched on. It's only touched on really, and again, Dave Filoni, Rebels, Clone Wars, that's where we get to see it, and there's so much more to it that I think this is them taking an opportunity to bring the Mandalorian culture up to speed with every other culture. Like we know about the Wookiees, we know about this. I think this is the trash bin for Mandalorian season 3. This is the backup drive where they're putting all the extra stuff that's going to take away from the action from season 3. I think season 3 is going to be in fourth gear the whole time, and they're putting all the bullshit.
It's so weird that you would say the Book of Boba Fett, the tie that ties back to the original series, that they couldn't come up with a better way to show one of the most beloved Star Wars characters is just.
I think this is the compromise between two Star Wars.
Who's the
fans,
most beloved Star Wars character?
This is the compromise between two Star Wars fans who are created, Filoni and Favreau, compromising, getting to play with the Star Wars toys, but having to make a compromise with the mouse. As much as that sucks, this is them making going, okay, we'll do this, but let's get all our shit in as much as we can so we can keep doing our thing. This shows a compromise.
The thing that I find weird with Boba Fett is trying to turn him into an anti-hero.
Yeah.
That's why I said he's trying.
I mean, in Beloved, it's like, come on, it's just a design aspect. He really didn't do much originally, man. He was there.
But that's you're talking. But see, you're only talking about what he did in the movies. What happened everywhere else, and especially with his culture. Also, remember, he's a clone trying to find his own culture. He's still a clone. He's the last clone. So he's trying to find a culture. He's trying to find something. I know.
That he's been broken down in two different canons. So in the primary canon, he's a total badass that Darth Vader respected. In this new way of looking at it, once they made the prequels, he turned him into a clone, and that changed a lot of things. Like in the original ones, he took over Mandalore in the books, like he became their king and all this sort of stuff. He was always a badass. He never stopped being a badass. Now he's like, well, I'm going to take over this.
You watch, they're going to give him a chance to be a badass. They're going to do the stuff that they didn't get to that they didn't get to do in the Clone Wars, and it's going to be Boba and Cad facing off each other. That's what's going to happen in this next episode, man.
I hope you're right.
I agree with Joe. They made him such a badass in like Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader just had to tell him one thing. He just points at him and says, "No disintegration." That line right there, like you knew that even Darth Vader was like, "You're crazy." Like I heard the stuff you do. I've seen the stuff you do.
Do I have
so don't do it. Like you're a badass.
I do have one.
With that, they set it up.
I still think they're going to redeem him as a badass by having him go against Cad on this next one, man.
Yeah, they wrote him off. Return of the Jedi. You're kind of like, oh, that's it. He's gone. And then to bring him back in this show. So like, okay, like in that first episode, he's fighting these guys.
Yellow
They're
pages.
surrounding him with this. They're surrounding him with their shields. Why not just fly out of there? You have a backpack on. You're standing there like a dumbass, and then like anything happens, go take a bath. Like that's the show. Go take a bath.
Yeah.
All right. They haven't even gone into how badass the Bounty Hunters Guild is and things like that.
Listen, if you guys want to know about Star Wars, these are the books to read.
Yep.
This is the best shit right here. Believe us, we lived it. We've read all of them. This is good Star Wars. What you're getting on Disney is hit or miss.
Well,
they didn't stay with the lore that had been built up.
Do you know what
through those books and everything instead of doing the way they did?
Remember Kathleen Kennedy? She was like,
"Yep,
we're not like Marvel and Disney,
right?
Because they have all the books and the comics that they can pull. We have guys in the back room.
You know what my guess is?
Coming up with stories of their own. And it's like, what?
They didn't want to. Basically, my idea, what I think they did there is they did not want to have to pay out to all those authors and writers and everybody.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to give money, I agree with you, Phil. But if you're going to give money to one author and do his story, you call up Timothy Zahn and you say, how much do you need to do this with us? Because his trilogy,
he was the core of everything.
I don't want to say that his trilogy should have been the next trilogy.
He should have been. It was way too late.
It really was. But this is what I'm excited though that Ahsoka was looking for him in that episode of Mandalorian. Yeah. I love the fact that she didn't stay. She hasn't been on that planet with Luke and Grogu. She was there for a minute, but she's got to go back because that means Ahsoka has two missions. Did she or didn't she find Ezra? Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert for Rebels. Did she or didn't she find Ezra yet? Because she's supposed to be there with what's her face, and the other one. Now, did she or didn't she find Thrawn? And are those two connected? Does Thrawn know where Ezra is? And is that what the Ahsoka series is going to be? I friggin' hope so.
I'm really excited about the Ahsoka series.
Okay,
one of the things I love about the Star Wars
Rebels.
concept right now that they keep getting, that they got around in the big ether of Star Wars, is that it was like, there is no other Jedi. Luke Skywalker and his sister are the last two. And it's like, yeah, but she's still alive. Yeah, but she's not a Jedi. It's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
But she's my best part. And look, I'm gonna rewind because we talked about Rebels for a second. That episode when she fought
Yeah.
Vader.
Forget
And
about it.
I'll
Rebels
avenge
is
my.
tough.
I'll
Never
avenge him.
would.
Jedis don't do revenge. I'm no Jedi. I'm like, this is gonna be badass. And
Yeah.
anybody who's a fan of that show did not leave that show with dry eyes. Okay,
I
without
did
all that
not.
shit. I cried like a freaking baby.
I did not. I was always awake enough during that series to go, you know what? It's just not that good. It's good. It's not Clone Wars. It's not going to live up to Clone Wars. There were some really great episodes, but man, once they got to like they brought Darth Maul, Darth Vader into it, it was like a whole nother level.
Rebels was I really
It was
enjoyed
insanely
Rebels.
great.
I really enjoyed Rebels. I thought it was great storytelling. It was the animation was great. The voice acting was great. It was
when
just
what's his face died, that was a big
Yeah,
moment for me.
it was
That
just
was
so
a great.
on.
That was a big moment. And then Rebels is gonna change everything. Like I
okay. I'm gonna
fairly
geek out.
certain they're gonna do the World Between Worlds to fix the sequel
Geek-
trilogy.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna do. But geek out moment for the
Vic, I
towards
hope
the
you
end
can
of
keep
the
up with us on this one.
the last episode, the
Taking
last the last sequel, the last sequel. I yelled this out in a movie theater when I was watching, and luckily some other Uber geek a few rows behind me is like, "Hell yeah!" when I said it. If when Lando comes in next with Chewie in the Falcon, once Poe is like, "Well, we're done, we're screwed." When they're fighting all on Exegol and they're fighting all the Star Destroyers and stuff, he's like, "We're screwed." And then the Falcon comes up. Did anybody notice Ghost right there on its left?
I was looking for it, but yeah.
Google
I
it.
think
And Ghost is right there on its left.
it is
And I
right there.
shouted it out. I was like, "Holy shit, Ghost!" And the lady next to me looked at me like, "Shh." But then you hear some guy, "Yeah, motherfucker, yeah!" So it was like, okay, another Rebels
I
fan.
was
Fantastic.
definitely looking. I knew.
I saw
that-
it.
I
I
knew
saw
that
it.
they were going to be on there.
I'm so
talking
happy.
about ships. Now that we talked about Rebels, we got it out of our system. What are we
Yeah.
thinking about the replacement for no longer called Slave One? Actually, it's not. It's
No, it was never he
Slave
the
One.
Raven's Crest.
And then it was the crest.
Well, he
And
didn't
now
have
we've got the
Mando
speeder.
didn't have Slave One.
No, he didn't. You're right. My fault.
He never had Slave One. Mando had a Raven's Crest. Raven's Claw,
What-
Raven's
what-
Crest,
what do we
Bear
call
Claw,
Yeah.
Raven's Crest.
Yeah. What are we thinking about the replacement
Okay.
for Raven's Crest?
Nice throwback. First off, let's that was a nice throwback because you get R2 vibes with that, so that's kind of a nice throwback. Nice throwback that she said, "Oh, I gutted the Astro Droid pit because you don't need it, so you can think Grogu's going to be in there. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Little guy's going to pop his head out in there. That's awesome. Can't wait for that." Then you start thinking logistically, it's like his armor's too big for him to keep popping in and out of that. I don't know. How's he gonna bounty hunt with that?
Maybe
Does that
he'll
thing have
turn into
storage?
an anti-hero, good guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Oh, well, no.
bounty
That's why I think. That's where my theory. That's where I think my theory of him moving on to try to save the Mandalorian culture is going to happen. But whatever. But at the end of it, I think Phil had the best take on it. Yo, it revved like a 1970s muscle car, and it still does. Like when he landed. Good night, man. When he say hi to Jesse for me. When he landed, and then he started revving it up again, I'm like, ooh, that. Ooh.
Totally agree.
Ooh,
It was good.
that sounded like a Chevelle. All right, let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it fits his character. Like he needs.
Not yet, but I think he's evolving.
I think it's temporary.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. But right, he's not in Death Watch anymore, so he's not that type of Mando anymore.
I don't disagree with you, but for my thing is it's too tight. Like there's no
Yeah,
way.
his armor
Yeah.
is tough. It's tough for
too
like
tight.
watching
the film is all crotch shots the whole time. Like are
This
we gonna get that the whole season?
this last episode. It was tough watching him getting in and out. It was like, dude, you're too big for that.
Okay, here's my call. He's going to get a Razor Crest back. The new ship is going to be in tow with it. And to go back to where the lore came from, the Darksaber, Grogu's going to go, screw you, I'm wearing the Mandalorian armor and taking the lightsaber, like the original that created the Darksaber. And he's going to get the hot rod ship, and he's going to fly in tow with Mandalorian in the Razor Crest.
That's nifty. I
No,
like
wait.
that.
We didn't even do a spoiler alert. You can't talk about that.
Oh, I
All right.
thought we were spoiling all through this. It's out.
No, we only did-
I gotta be honest, I did too.
Well,
we
hey, that was
spoiler
no.
alert.
Yeah.
Well, for the new shows, we spoiled the old ones. That's old enough.
Wait,
But
I'm going to give you. Wait, before you jump on anything, I
And
got a
all
share
of that
screen.
was
I got a share
that
screen that
wasn't
gives
even
Phil.
really
That's going to give Phil
okay.
a painting I did. A painting I
Okay.
did that'll help Phil
Oh yeah, got
secure
it.
Phil's
Here we
theory.
go. That's how you
Oh,
bring it.
okay.
There you go, Phil. I got you.
It's
I
not the
support
green
you.
saber though, man.
No, it's okay. That's because he went to because eventually he went
What?
because
What
of
are
his
you talking about?
because of his moon. Grogu went to the dark side.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's Grogu going to the dark side. That's
Um,
that's a 24 by 20 acrylic canvas.
Dude, you're killing with the acrylics, man. You really are. That's very impressive. I'm loving it.
This one took a minute. This
Now,
one took
is
a
this a
minute.
Lego version or is it just a little blocky? And that's, I feel like
It's
a Lego
it's
color.
blocky because it's on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
It's on Instagram, so it's compressed to a square.
Okay.
I have to find my iPhone image for it. I think it's still on my phone actually. The regular. It's blocky because it's on Instagram. That's the one drawback of pulling it. I mean, I lucked out. I can grab it on my desktop, but Instagram is just weird.
Mm.
It's just blocky because of that. But he's again, like I said, it's a 20 by 24 inch canvas, so it's still a little rectangular. But this one was this one was tough. This one was really tough, and it was a
like it.
commission for a buddy of mine. He's like, I want you to do this, and I'm like, that's sick. Let's go. So I did. So I'm going to give this to Phil. I'm going to help Phil's theory there to help you out. But I think at the end of this Book of Boba Fett's going to get stuck. Like he's going to finally cement himself on Tatooine as the guy. I think Boba Fett gives Slave One to Mando.
Huh.
I think he's like, you know what? Go. I'm not part of this. I'm still, whatever. I want to do this. I'm not a Mandalorian, but if you need me, I got your back. But here, take this and unite our
That would
people.
be cool. I'd be good at that. Like, that'd be
Screw
cool.
Death Watch. Screw
Yeah.
Death Watch. Death
I
Watch is
still
over.
want a Razor Crest though. I love that ship, man.
Yeah,
Because
me
it looks
too.
like it looks like the
That's
Winnebago
just-
from Spaceballs. That's why.
I love the Razor
I
Crest.
saw a
It made
great
more
meme
sense
where-
too. Space
Yes.
for all your stuff.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, now that's my issue. But like,
Yeah, I'm
I
with
saw
that.
a great, I
I'm
saw
with
a
that,
great
Phil.
meme where it was like, there's a part where he has to admit that he took off the helmet, and then his and the female Mandalorian, I don't remember what her name is, but she's badass.
Yeah, I don't remember her name either.
She's like the
She's a badass with the helmet, with the hammer, though.
she's
Jesus.
the one that does all the freaking forging. She's the Forge Mandalorian, whatever.
Right, yeah.
And she calls him out. She's like, "Hey, have you ever taken off the helmet? Then I guess you're not a Mandalorian anymore." And
Well,
this meme has Mando going back and talking to Boba, and he was all like, "Yeah, she told me I wasn't a Mandalorian anymore." And Boba's like, "Dude, you got the freaking black saber. Like, who gives a shit? You're the
Well,
king of Mandalore."
that's exactly what I'm saying, though. Because remember, that sect of not taking off the helmet, that's Death Watch. That's very war
Very
is our
specific.
religion. Yeah, war,
Yeah.
and that helmet is everything. And you don't take that helmet, like he's not in Death Watch anymore. Now he's just a Mandalorian. But
Well,
to
people
be
are saying
honest with you, he has. Let's be real for a second. He has the dark saber. He won it in battle. He's the Mandalore. He's the leader of the Mandalorians. Technically, he can be. He could go and take that right from Bo-Katan. He has it. He has the right. They're gonna have to fight. I think eventually. They're gonna have to fight eventually. And I'm sorry for Pablo Pascal, but Katie Sackhoff might kick his ass. But whatever. She's a pretty badass. I love Battlestar Galactica. Sorry, but that should be
Yeah.
a lot of fun to watch.
That would be an awesome fight. And
That'll be a great fight. Because remember, she's got
Going back again, I mean, how many of these elements are they bringing from Clone Wars? That's just like
Filoni.
so awesome to see.
Oh yeah, you got Filoni in there, so definitely a lot.
Filoni, man. Oh my God.
Him and Favreau, I think, are what is saving Star Wars, man.
Oh yeah,
they-
shit yeah.
I can't wait for them to make a movie go in that direction. For right now, it's just like they're just giving us those like beautiful little crumbs of cookies. They're like, you remember that delicious cookie that we gave you? Here's a little bit
Okay.
more. And we're
Yeah.
just like,
Real
we're
quick.
eating it up.
This is what they did. Okay, now again, I have no problem saying this. At the end of the last Star Wars sequel, I definitely was emotional, not because it was such a great opus of a movie, no, but it was like somebody just asked today, what was your first memory? I tell people my first memory is sitting in a movie theater and getting blown away by the original Star Wars. That movie has been not a part of my life, has been a friend to me my entire life. That franchise. So when I say yes, I can separate. Okay, yeah, I know these. My brain does say, yeah, this movie was shitty and this was shitty and Finn got screwed over and this, that, the other thing. But my heart is like Star Wars. Okay, because it's a part of my life. And look, I'm not trying to bring anything down, but I'll say this real quick. I never had a lot of friends, but I always had Star Wars. Okay, so it was really important to me. So, but I can see the shit. Don't get me wrong, guys. I can see the shit and I can see the good stuff. Filoni and Favreau at the end of episode 2 kicked us all in the nuts. I'm sobbing watching this episode when what's his face comes out, and then the real kick in the nuts is when R2 came out. I'm like, you son of a bitch, mother prick! Don't do that! Don't do that to
I
us.
was running around the back of my couch going, "Oh no!
I'm sobbing like a child. Don't do. And then the music and the music. Screw you. And then I'm sitting here watching now Book of Boba Fett, which I have to watch as an editorial because I'm going to go back and forth like this with people on it, the good, the bad, the ugly. You're going to do that shit to me again? No. You rat bastard. And they did. You rat bastards.
They're not doing it to me. So I agree with you 100% on everything you said except for one thing. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love it. It's part of my culture. It's part of my DNA. It's part of who I am, like to everything that I understand and how I look at the world. But I cannot get behind the sequel trilogy as anything other than just bad. And I would have gotten behind it no matter if it was bad or not, still loved it as Star Wars because of what they did to Luke Skywalker. Period, full stop. If they had just done Luke Skywalker with respect and dignity, I would have been like, you know what? I don't like what you did with the characters, but I love it. Could keep going. But you're
just saying the second one because that's the one where they really shit on him.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, but then in the third one, he just dies from exhaustion. Get out of here. They did a pretty good job bringing it back. I did enjoy it in the second one, or in the third one, but the second one was so bad and it was so terrible to the character.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if he had done that to the character, and then in the third movie allowed him to redeem himself and become a better man, and then sacrifice himself for the new heroes, I would have even given the pass on that. Been like, okay, you needed to give Luke Skywalker a character arc that made sense. And I think that would have made sense. But to basically say he turned on everything that made him the archetype hero that so many other great heroes are based off of, it was just wrong. So for me, it was a fail. It was an utter fail, and it was an insult to heroes.
I think with 3 they did the best they could to try and fix the shit mess that they did.
I will buy that. Yep, I will buy that for 2, and that's completely fair. I will say the little, and it's not redeeming at all. It's just the little part where I can hang my hat on and be like, okay, 2 had this at least. 2 had a drunk Force Ghost Master Yoda who was like over it. He's like, you know what? I'm over all this. I'm dead. I don't care anymore. I lived 900 years. Blow up the Jedi books. Burn them. Here you go. Here, let me use the lightning. Like that was my favorite part of the second movie.
Yeah, mine too.
Drunk, just like in Clone Wars, when Master Yoda came into that cave and Anakin and Obi-Wan getting their ass kicked by Dooku, and Master Yoda said, "Nah, let me put this cane down for a second and show you what's up." And he started with the flips and the stuff. And my whole
theater out of his jacket. I was like,
my whole theater. Like if you were watching something else in the next theater over, you thought there was a riot going on in my theater.
You must have gone to the midnight showing. I bet you went to the midnight showing for those, did you?
I did go to a midnight showing, but the first time I saw it was at noon because we all played hooky from work. And I can say that because that was a few years ago now, so I don't work there anymore. But we had a rockin' theater. But again, that's how many years ago when people went to the movies to have fun like that.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
to go back,
but that was what I'm saying. Yeah, midnight showings. That's
midnight showings.
I fell to my knees, and I was like, oh! I was so excited when freaking Yoda came out.
When I've been digging it like about a smaller town outside of here. like probably about 15, 20 minutes drive, they've actually still have a drive-in. And that's
nice.
where I went. And that was cool. You can turn it up as loud as you want. You're not, get all your goodies before you go.
That was one of my bonuses. There was two groups of people doing them out here on Long Island during the quarantine. One group was taking advantage and got the deals to do them, but they were charging a lot of money. And it was like, bro, come on. And then one group was like, hey, we got this field, we got this projector. Bring your own stuff. We got it set up and the Wi-Fi and the Blu-ray so you can hook it up, and it's just $10 a car. I don't care how many people are in it.
Yeah. That's
Bro.
cool.
That was good.
Awesome.
I think he realized we were all like right on the edge.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what? Let's just do this. Every time we'll sell out every time, and they did. The other guy sold out too, but I'd rather give the guy. I give the other guy $10 instead of.
Yeah,
Well, I love watching you do that perspective, man, on that gun. That's been fun to watch you figure that out.
I'm gonna figure out exactly. I'm like, it changed about 4 or 5 times as I look at the. But I finally got it because I kept looking up to his eyes to see, because it's tough because he doesn't have the pupils. I think if he had pupils, I could follow it more. Let me pull that down a little bit. So I was basically basing it off the sight to try to get the, because if the
he's
sight
so badass, he don't even need the sight, man.
But when you're drawing a gun, you need the reference. My reference was the sight, so I can get the angle of the barrel, so it makes sense. Because if
I'm pretty sure that's the shot where he takes out the idiot second cop who wants to come out. What is the deputy?
Yeah.
No, this is based off a toy.
Okay.
I draw a lot, like, I don't like drawing, because I know a bunch of people that will eyeball somebody else's work. And I'm like, I caught myself doing that a few years ago, and I was like, ooh, no, don't do that. That's not cool. So I started drawing a lot of toys, because it's a toy, so whatever. Or I started using. I have a lot of the because a lot of the wrestling figures have a lot of points of mobility, the joints. So
Right.
you can dig like the mannequin, so you can position them because the anatomy's there.
Turn it into your maquette.
Yep, exactly. And then with the proper lighting, you can get good shadow with that. And look, I'm old school. I will take a selfie of myself, and I have a mirror where if I need a facial expression, I'll look in the mirror and make the facial expression. Or if I need the hands, I'll take, I'll just, okay, I need he's holding it like this. Let me take a picture of my hand real quick so I can, get that, so I can get the lighting. Yeah, so I'm constantly doing those to try to do something different. And people's like, yeah, but you're drawing Spider-Gwen, like you haven't put her costume in. I'm like, I'll look at her costume later because that's just reference for her costume. But I don't want to draw what somebody else drew. I don't want to copy Jim Lee's version of something. I want to draw my thing and then draw the costume on.
And there's a digital version of that you can do too, like Dad Studios free 3D modeling. So you get some free figures.
Yep.
You move them around like a puppet, basically, in the position you want.
Dude, those
you
are
can look
great.
at them from any angle, and
Those
then
are
you can
great.
sketch away from there, man.
Yep. No, you're dead on accurate.
What do you got, Phil? I'm going to bring up your screen real quick. Let's see.
Oh,
White Devil!
White Devil is
White
out
Devil.
now. We just went through campaign last month, and
White Devil.
it's already getting sent out to everybody. But over at Silverline Comics, we got White Devil. This is done by R.A. Jones. He is the co-creator of Bulletproof Monk back in the Image days. Jackson Rennick that did pencils line work for Run of Deathstroke. There's been lots of good people on this book, and Silverline's been around for a while. They used to be an imprint under Malibu back in the Malibu days, so there's still some Malibu people and people under the imprints from there that are over at Silverline.
Malibu, the first to use digital colors, I believe.
Yeah, I've got to. It's really cool because there's one of their colorists. She had been there from the beginning. They're talking about, they were just discovering how to adapt Photoshop over to do digital coloring. I got to hear all the pioneering of what they were figuring out in colors back then. Even I believe that even Image was because Image was under the Malibu title for a minute for distribution, and I think they were also working in tandem with them on learning the learning the digital realm and getting that all figured out. And this
Man,
is one of the other covers, Stephen Butler.
You gotta
And
shoot me some messages on this because if there's a way to get some of these comics, I'd love to get.
I
oh,
want to be
and
I want
here's
to be an
another thing
unsolicited.
too. Not only is issue 1 out now, but I am already deep into
That's what I was gonna
production on
say.
issue 2.
I wanted to be an
So
unsolicited
people know that
advertisement.
they're going to have their, they know that they aren't going to be waiting a damn year for the next issue, in the series.
And Phil's not just blowing smoke. He's been talking to us and showing us a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. These guys are machines. They are on an assembly line putting these books together and these stories together. They're keeping Phil's crayons moving. It is impressive as hell the way they're running a Kickstarter and the way they're running just putting their books together and getting them into people's hands. And I got to tell you, the look of the book, like I saw a lot of fulfillment pictures and stuff like that. The look of the book is like actually the book actually in your hand.
Yeah,
is
they're printed
fantastic.
They're printed it up through Kablam.
Yep.
Which actually, the one artist on here that he's worked, at some of the bigs too, are both of these guys. One's Stephen Butler and one's Mr. Floramonte. Floramonte, he is the partial owner and runs Kablam Printing. And
I really like Kablam
Butler,
a lot.
this is like a homage cover. It beckons back to old Superman cover where it's an eagle coming down on Superman's arm, But we have the dragon here, of course, with White Devil. But Steve Butler actually had worked on Superman and Superman covers back in the day, so that was really cool to be able to work with these guys on this.
Yeah,
I love how you did that.
It makes me feel like I'm like 12 years old again, looking at some old like Marvel, stuff from like the early 90s. Like this is cool. This is really cool.
Yeah, the retro flavor. And and I like it too because like I like some of the older school like line artists or inkers because I see a lot of times where it's just like a lot of outline a lot of times, and I'm not seeing line weights. I don't see feathering techniques or
it's a lot of the colorist is creating the form. And here it's just like
the forms, and that's the way it should be, really, man. I'm just there to enhance the line work. I'm not there to do the job of the line work. At least
we had that conversation.
Yeah,
I should.
We had that conversation.
Unless I'm doing the whole piece myself from limes on up.
We had that conversation with someone in a stream a while back where they said, we just need the lines. I'll give it to the colors and they'll do the worst. And I kind of thought to myself,
it's like, I got to do all the heavy lifting.
Right? Yeah,
like I was like,
and that's why I like you saw my pencils for the kaiju stuff, and then what did I do? I was like, Phil, you're coloring this. Am I giving you too much? Am I not giving you enough? What do you need so you can get your, so you can throw down and do your thing? Because I want the colors to do his thing, but I need to. My job is to lift as the artist, squinch whatever. I'm trying to get the writer's view, so I'm trying to lift that up and then get my shit on and get some of my stuff down. But I don't want to take away so much that the colorist doesn't have enough to do. But I also don't want the colorist to do all the heavy lifting. I think if the both of us work together, we can get away with it.
Yeah.
Hey Phil, do you still have that old poster? I haven't seen it in so long now. I just I feel
Elysian Fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got that around, man.
He's always posting it. Don't worry. He's always posting it.
I love it, man.
Let's see. I could actually. Let me see if I got that handy, man.
Elysian Fields, yeah.
But and White Devil's cool too because that was actually White Devil was that was actually a Malibu title in the early '90s under the Eternity imprint under Malibu, and it was when they're trying to delve into more of that manga flavor. But since then, it's been renovated and brought up into a more of a Western style,
I got a funny thing that I shared right there, and I just kind of flipped the book over. Speaking of fulfillment, Human Hunters just came a couple weeks ago from Atrocity Press, and it's phenomenal. He's about to put out Ninja Bimbos from the Zombies. I forget the name of it. Max is just pumping stuff out. This is a great book, but I wanted to talk really quickly, and I'm not going to open it.
Ninja Bimbos versus the Zombies from Deep Space.
Deep Space, something, that's it. But I wanted to talk about. Now, this is the ad for Niobe and Atrocity and Exciting Comics and stuff, and how it's going to be. But with the thing that I'm sharing, that's in that I got in the share screen, the next crowdfunded Niobe is going to be Niobe Niobe Outbreak. Larry's putting together a bunch of stuff, and then I have a thing on the share screen, the little chibi that you see down there. If you bring that up for a second, please, Larry. One of the you can see that's Niobe wearing a little mask. You can Outbreak. It's going to be a. This is not the. Phil's doing the colors. I just colored this one for shits and giggles, and because Phil. I want to have some fun with Phil, but this is a sneak peek at one of the stretch goals for the next Kickstarter. That's going to be jumping out in March. So we got a lot of fun Niobe stuff happening soon, and I'm actually going to get to draw Niobe for fun now. It was a fun experience. And but I get to work with Phil again, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I've only got about 2 pages and maybe about a quarter of another one before that 5-page story's done.
I'm trying to see if I can find the other one.
Well, don't accidentally drop some stuff.
I don't have any of that open. I don't have any of that open, so don't worry.
Okay, Joe, I found what you were talking about, dude.
I love this piece. I adore this piece, Phil.
Let's go to full screen.
That's the first piece me and Joe worked on, man, together.
Oh, is this the one you were complaining about the artist again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that Joe guy, man,
Yeah.
Damn it.
Good for you, Phil.
Man, it's been a while since I've done that much work. Usually just throw shit away.
And remember this?
Oh, yeah.
That awesome logo. That was fun. That was a fun stream.
Yeah, I ended up not making a whole lot of money on this one, but I love doing it. And I gave you almost half the money I got from it.
That's
this one was quite intensive, man. There was lots of little bits and pieces. And let's see, I think down here we got, I know somewhere in the rocks you had your signature slid in there somewhere, man.
Look at all
But
the
yeah,
blood.
this one was a lot of little bits and pieces and stuff, man. And blood. Yes, there was blood.
And then there was blood.
That's action packed.
Well, nothing compared to Marius, man. You're a whole other level, buddy. But it was
Right.
fun to work on for sure. It was fun. Yeah. And then, the original sold. So it was helpful for the campaign. So it's good times.
Hell yeah, man.
When was this?
This was what, two
2000.
years ago now?
It was 20 during the Elysian Fields. The first book was out.
Yep.
Yeah, so the 2020, and the black and white, the inks were sent out and were sold during the Kickstarter or Indiegogo, whatever happened, as like a standalone purchase. And this was not a cover, so it wasn't like that. It was just something that was a poster that he commissioned me to do, just to help sell the book. So.
Yeah, here we go, actually. Oh, let's see.
Are you seeing if you have the original ink?
I see. There we go.
Oh, there they are.
So, yep, there's the original inks.
Man, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen this thing. That's pretty cool. It brings me back to my artistic days. I've been building business for so long. I don't do enough art.
Well, damn it, Joe. Get to it, man. Chop, chop.
Chop, chop. I know. At some point, the whole reason I want the business is to succeed is so I can retire and just work on art for the rest of my life.
There you go.
It's all selfish reasons.
Good reason,
Anyway.
sir.
Well, thanks for showing my work, man. I appreciate it. That was fun to look at that stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I save everything. I've got backups for the
I
backup.
got receipts.
Well, if anybody, and it's a lot of times, like if they lose track of something, they hit me up. It's like, dude, do you still have that around? It's like, yeah.
Phil definitely
So
still has it.
I back up all my stuff, man. I try to.
Yeah.
I try to make sure, so it can stay around for a while, man. And I'm also working on a story with Warren Brown for Max DeVille over at Atrocity Press. We're doing a little bit of an anthology.
I think Pete's shushing
You're not
you.
supposed to talk about that.
No, I know my NDAs, man. I know where I'm good and stuff, but yeah, there's a little peek of a kind of Cthulhu type little short story. He's working on a horror anthology, and I was working on this one with Warren Brown.
He's gonna
Okay.
shoot you.
Sig and Joe fame, which I believe he's about ready. About
He's
got
almost
his
ready.
digital ready.
Any day now.
Daredevil underwear?
Any day now.
Is that a devil underwear? Is that what
That's
that
the
is?
Atrocity
That's
Press
the
logo.
Atrocity Press little
I
devil
got it.
logo, man.
Yeah.
I told him he needs
That's
to make
cool.
that for the next stretch goal in one of his books, man.
It should be a coaster or something. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the stream, Marius.
Oh, what's up, man?
Hanging out
Hello.
with Justin yesterday, so welcome. You added a stream and everything. What are we working on here?
Who what?
Marius, are you there? Hello,
Can you?
Marius. Hello. Nope.
Oh,
Nothing.
are you muted?
Your
'Cause
audio
we
is
can't
not
hear.
set up. It wasn't muted when he was trying to talk.
Oh,
So
Mic
there's something
disconnect,
going on
yeah.
with the audio.
Yeah. If you step out and come back in, or if you go into the cam mic, you can get that
Mhm.
fixed.
Yeah. All right. It's starting to. You know what? I'm about ready. I was looking at the time because I'm thinking I might put my kids to sleep. You guys can be on all night if you want to, but I'm probably.
I was showing. Look, my show is 2 blocks away from my house, but still, I have a show tomorrow. And you can get Bits as Batman there if you want it.
Yeah, I love that, man. Hey, make sure that you
Trying to get rid of all of this.
put the information on the show on the chat. If you want to put it in the private chat, we can put it in the thing or however
Let
you
me
want to
go
do it.
find it really fast. I gotta open the Facebook
Mike
thing
disconnected. Yeah, he's taking care of it.
because I'm boomering.
Well, yeah,
over here.
I'm probably gonna put my babies to sleep and get some sleep. I got a meeting tomorrow morning at 9:00 for a potential partnership for a toy design build, so that'll be fun.
Cool.
Well,
I put it in the
and-
private chat.
You're not
The
running
link
too
for the
late though.
event.
What? You're West Coast, right?
No, it's I wake up really early. Marius, how we doing? You got good audio now?
Yeah, I could already hear you guys.
Oh,
Can
there
you
he
hear me?
is.
Yeah, it just wasn't coming our way. Okay.
No, it was my Bluetooth headset wasn't working, so I had to. Yeah. It kept on disconnecting. There was this notification over at the StreamYard, kept telling me that your audio is disconnecting. So yeah.
Saying device
no.
not found or some
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
StreamYard,
something like
Yeah.
that.
StreamYard is annoying sometimes. I mean, I can't use my iPad, my old iPad. It just disconnects after like 15 minutes, no matter what.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Damn.
Oh
you're
yeah,
good,
I
you
can.
do right.
I can't connect my iPad at all to StreamYard.
Yeah.
The other day when we were having a meeting the other day, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because
Yeah, you got to go through Safari.
Mm,
It's weird.
it might
It
be
doesn't
that.
like.
It could be.
It doesn't like Mac products. It just
I'd
doesn't.
just rather go through a desktop or a laptop to deal with
It's-
stuff
yeah.
like this.
Well, it
honestly,
just
you're better
works
off. It
so
doesn't like
well.
Mac stuff.
The iPad, the phones, things like that are just so much better as like a adjustable element to film what you're doing for art cams and stuff. It's just frustrating when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get a camera like freaking Marius has. I mean, that looks like a Canon or something. That's beautiful.
No, it's not. It's just a laptop standard webcam.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Hey,
the it's the
That's pretty
webcam
good.
that goes along with the Predator that I'm using.
Yeah,
Oh,
webcam at
you got
720 or a
whatever.
1080p. You
I
should.
think it's 720. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the 1080p Logitech, so it's
Hmm.
it's a mess. I've got to mess with this thing all the time just to have it work somewhat right. It's so frustrating. Vic looks like $1 million down there. So
I think
I
the newer
have
webcam-
I have a Canon EOS 70D, so I'm lucky.
yeah.
I need it. I don't sleep enough, so I need the good camera and the good lighting. Otherwise, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be like that Seinfeld episode where the girl was in bad light and she was all messed
No,
up. Yeah,
I
that'd
bet
be
you're
me
talking about
without
one
this.
where he was
When
in
I've got
the-
mine plugged in, it's always darker. I like to look like I'm deep in the abyss, down in the comics compound.
Definitely, you
Man.
look like you're deep in the abyss when your camera's on.
That's because
Yeah.
I keep my lighting a little bit low, man. Because light bugs my eyes while I'm looking at a screen and dealing with art and stuff. I like to keep the lights
Maybe
down.
if you were awake during the day.
Hey, what's that?
Exactly.
You know that yellow orb in the sky? It's
Yeah,
called
look
the
up.
sun, Phil.
The big yellow one's the sun.
Hey, I've got to go find the sorcerer and get the potion that I can take so I can go out into the sun and not turn into a cloud of smoke, man.
All right. So talking about that, potions and things. and we talked about the fact that they're remaking everything these days.
Yeah.
Number one, does anyone even care about the movie that I'm about to bring up? And number two, should it be remade? And that's The Last Unicorn.
Yeah, don't
The
care.
last one.
Yeah, I was gonna say not one way or the other with me, man.
Yeah.
Last
Don't care.
Unicorn was
I'm not
okay.
gonna
I
watch
kind
it.
of remember it, but not hardcore. It's not right
Yeah.
in the tip of my brain cells.
I
but
think the only movie that they should remake is Ice and Fire. Or is it Fire and Ice?
Fire and Ice. Oh, the Franzetta.
Yeah. I think they should totally
uh,
remake that movie.
Bakshi and Frazetta.
Yeah.
Bakshi does not get enough credit for what he's done in the animation field, man.
That would be cool to see that redone.
Well, I thought I heard something about Rodriguez want to pick it up and do it a live action or something. I'm
Fire and
pretty
Ice?
sure. Yeah, at one point that was talked about with Rodriguez, man.
Maybe. I didn't hear about that. I haven't heard much about Fire and Ice other than just being a weird fanatic of Frazetta, so I just like everything that he does, no matter what. I love the fact that he basically told everyone to just F off. I'm just going to do my own thing.
And
like
the way
his entire career.
and it was cool the way Bakshi did it, doing all the rotoscoping over live action and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or one of my favorites from him, Wizards. You ever seen Wizards?
Wizards? From who?
From Bakshi.
No, I'll check it out.
That
though.
is
Wizards.
awesome, man. That one's
With
good.
an S? Not like Comic Arts with a Z? Like it's
No,
Wizards?
yeah. Yeah. You'll know it when you see it, man. It's animated.
All right. Cool. I dig it. Marius, man. Sorry, we brought you on. We're like, we don't really want to talk to you though. Just sit there and be quiet.
It's okay.
You caught me at the tail end of this thing. I don't know if Vic wants to stay on or if we want to shut it down, but I had a good time.
I think we're getting close. I'm tired too.
No problem.
Yeah, I've had a long one. Like I said, I came straight in from taking care of the tundra in the driveway, man. That wore me the hell out.
I think
man.
it was
All right,
fun.
real quick, I'll share
Yeah.
because I found it. I was finally able to find it. The thing Joe was talking about. Here we go. Let me show it real quick. So these are the versus
Oh, cool.
cards.
Nice.
Oh,
And then
cool.
They'll be doing this.
Whoa.
So every character will be having their own cards made up for this little
And
tournament
I'll
we're going to
be-
be doing.
Hey,
So-
what's up, Jim?
Tournament of this.
So I'll be doing the voiceover. Vic did all the graphics on that. It's going to be great, and then we'll just have a whole tournament all next week.
Comics Cast?
Yeah, it'll be a
Yeah.
tournament through Comics
Jim
Cast.
O'Reilly's here. Shh, shh.
Yeah. Did we get Jim's character?
You know
Does
what?
Jim have a character, or does he just have everybody else's character because he's so awesome?
He's
I
gonna
don't
draw
think-
better.
I don't know.
than
I'd have
everybody.
to look at the
Don't
list
let him
again.
in. He's gonna draw better
Jim
than
has
everybody.
all the good stuff, man.
Yeah, he does do a lot, but he does good stuff, really good stuff.
Maybe
All right.
maybe later in the week or this weekend we could unveil our list and show where everybody's at.
I think that'll be something that we maybe Monday morning we'll just start doing it. But it was fun to it was a good idea, Vic. It'll be fun to do. And then everyone will vote, and then we'll go all the way to the end, and then we'll reveal the winner. So I guess we'll talk about what's happening Sunday. So if you guys are in How to Draw Comics, I don't know, Pete and Phil, if you guys are, they do sequential challenges that allow people to work on their comic book art game at a legitimate, like following a script, doing all that sort of stuff. So Comics Cast is supporting How to Draw Comics with that, and we're going to be awarding the winner with $100, which will be awesome that we get to be a part of that. And then on Sunday, what we're going to have is Ed and Clayton on our show at the normally would be a Let It Out show, but we're going to be really highlighting those sequential artists, talking about the sequential challenges and How to Draw Comics has been doing for a
Now,
long
sequential, is that just on the line art end, or are they offering open that up to colors too and collabs, or what? How's that?
You can
I think it was
collaborate.
a collab, wasn't there?
It's it's always allowed to collaborate. You're always allowed, but there's no minimal or complete level that's expected. It's just a sequential page. So if you just do pencils, you're at the same exact level as somebody that did pencils and inks, or somebody did all the way to colors. They're looking at the total package. Are you able to tell a story? Where are you moving your camera angles? What are we looking at for like your anatomy and your design, stuff like that? I'm personally I'm always questioning. I don't like the idea of collabs too much on stuff like that, unless it's just colorist. I think that's fine. But if you're a penciler and you're putting it in as the guy who did the pencils, and then your inker like fixes everything, I don't think that that's very fair. I don't think that's fair. But it's all good. It's just my 2 cents on that. But I think it. I did the what did I do? I did the Spider-Man sequential they did back when I was in Korea, which was a lot of fun. Jim, man, we've just been talking Star Wars like it's almost this whole time. Vic's been patiently waiting for us to finish. Pete and I have been going back and forth. So a lot of Star Wars talk, a lot
I was
of
having to take my notes.
a lot of Mandalorian and the Boba Fett show. So it's been fun. So go back and watch it if you want to hear my BS on my soapbox.
And my Mandalore theories.
Yeah, for sure.
We did some speculations. Yeah,
it was fun. We talked about some key characters that came out in the last show. Okay, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about one thing, and then we close the show. What do we think that Grogu, you can call him Grogu if you want to, I prefer Baby Yoda, what choice will he make for the end of the Boba Fett book of The Mandalorian?
I already told you what I was thinking, man. I'd say he's going to say screw, because it was so. Oh, well, we don't want to go. Are we going spoiler?
Yeah, spoiler. Wait, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're going spoiler with it.
Spoiler territory. There we go.
I thought it was so unfair. I was like, Luke, come on. He's like, hey, Grogu, you can have this shiny thing or this really shiny thing. Which one do you want? And my speculation is going to go back to the old root of where the the dark saber came from. That he was a Mandalorian Jedi, and Grogu is going to take the armor. He's going to say screw it. He's going to take the armor and the lightsaber and pull back into that lore. And that's my take on it, man.
Perfect.
Yeah. Marius, what's your take on it? Have you seen it?
I know about it, but I'm not a fan of it. I kind of share in most of Joe's thoughts about it. And it's kind of a heated topic, so I'd rather not dip my toes in it. But yeah, to cut it short, not a fan, especially with what they did since the sequels. Mandalorian, the show is cool, but Boba Fett kind of sucks from what I hear and reviews. That's all about I'm gonna say.
Well, that's why all the parts that I like, Boba Fett's not really in them anyway. So the last
definitely.
2 episodes, it's a total different show.
Yeah, like I keep saying, the Book of the Boba Fett.
Book of the Mandalorians.
Book of Mandalorian.
Boba Fett.
That's pretty much what it is now.
Book of Mandalorian.
Well, like I thought, man, which would have worked better with Boba Fett if they would have done it in ensemble. And it looks that's where they're going with it now. Yeah. So I think that might be a good direction with it, I guess.
Again, I don't think their plan was to ever have this be a standalone Boba Fett piece. I do think this was supposed to be the Book of Mandalore. And this is how they're bringing the Mandalorian culture into Star Wars. That's my hot take on it. And I think this little bastard takes the saber. I think the kicker for me is when Luke says, you're going to live longer than the people that you love right now. So do you want to be with him a short time? And he also, if you learn, Luke also tells him in the beginning, if you learn you need to learn to people are going to come after you. You need to learn to defend yourself. The armor isn't going to be the only thing that can defend him, or having Mando defend him all the time isn't going to be the only thing. I think he takes the saber, but maybe, like Phil says before, takes kind of an Ahsoka thing and be like, okay, I learned enough. Let me grab this armor. I'm out. I'm going to go see my dad. Bye. I think that's where this little guy ends up going. He's going to learn enough.
I need you to stop moving his face when you talk, because now your voice is starting to tie itself in my brain through Yoda, and it will never go away.
Shit, he caught on.
I know what you were doing. It's weird.
That's exactly what I was doing, actually. It's exactly what I was doing. But no, I think this little guy takes this
over there, man.
I think this little guy takes the saber and learns and then goes to go find his dad, and that's going to be later in, I think, an action-packed season 3 of Mandalorian, which is why we're getting the garbage file of all the boring stuff. We didn't want to lose an episode of Mandalorian about him building a ship back on Tatooine. We didn't. We want to see him kicking the crap out of somebody or fighting something or doing something, and we're gonna get that in the Mandalorian because we're getting all the garbage and all the lore and all the tie-in for history and the Darksaber in Boba Fett, which is why I'm willing to go with that.
I might be in the minority, man, but I really thought I think the part I liked about the Boba Fett part of Book of Boba Fett probably the most was the backstory of him with the Tuskens, man.
I see, and I think that's what's giving him the my people need a thing kind of feel, you know? That's because the Mandalorians had that. And because he never really got to experience that other than hearing about it from his father.
I guess I'll say two things that, and then we'll close it up. So, number one, I agree with you, Phil, 100%. But the problem is, you got to pick one. They didn't do a good job with the foreground element, so the background didn't work. So they should have just decided, you know what? We're going to do he came out of the pit, and he had to learn to survive without his armor.
Yeah.
Do that show for a half of the show. Just stay there the entire time. Commit to it 100%.
I agree with you, man.
So they just didn't. Again, for me, it boils down to I don't think that you have talented enough people to pull off what you wanted. The people just weren't good enough. And the second part is, it was straight up Power Rangers for almost a whole episode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's ridiculous. And they should be embarrassed by themselves. It's just straight up embarrassing. Other than that, I think that's our show. Marius, I'm sorry that you got on so late.
No problem. Don't worry about it. I'll try to join in earlier next time.
All right, cool. That was fun. Vic, whatever you want to do, however you want to close it out. But that's all I got. Except meet us here on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the HDTC.
Oh, look at who shows up late. Look who shows up
Always
late.
shows up late.
Always shows up late.
Grogu's force choking me, man. Stop it, Grogu.
All right.
Sorry.
It looks like Grogu just died. Anyway, go ahead, Jake. Go ahead and sign us out. Good night, Gerald.
Night, guys.
Night, everybody. Thanks for being on.
Good night. Thanks for having me out, guys. Fun time.